Well, hey, folks, haven't seen you in weeks. It's good for everybody to be back together, connected. I see you in the chat, Ash. I don't know who else there is. There was a bunch of people watching, but I guess they're not in the chat. But yeah, my eye surgery was a success. This eye over here, this one is fixed. This one I have to do in a couple of months, and then I shouldn't have to wear glasses, maybe just reading glasses, which is all I have right now. And I may have to use these today, so I brought them because I'm not really sure. This is the first reading I'm going to really be doing since I got the surgery. So, see, I think they're cute, but that's a big glare. But anyway, you see, it's a big glare from the light. But as I read along, I'm going to try to do without them, but because they just make my eyes hurt. They feel strong or something. I don't know what's going on. But let us get started anyway, because we got our usual 25 questions. Hey, honey. 25 questions for June 1st. Can you believe that June is already here? I'm like, good Lord. Hey, Anna. So let's get started. Can I read this? You know, now I have old people disease where you have to hold it way out there like your arm is an extender. You got an extendo arm. If I do it that way, I can see it fine. That's so weird. Okay, this letter is from a young man in the 28 to 34 age group. He's African American from Washington, D.C. The summary of his issue. During family photos, my family wants to take multiple versions of the photos, some with my fiance and some without her in it. Obviously, that upsets my fiance as she feels excluded and intentionally left out. We've been together for 5+ years. At every event, my parents want to take photos of the quote immediate family, excluding my fiance, and then photos with her in it. As the engagement is new, I'm not certain how to navigate this issue, as we were just dating before. I was under the impression as we are now engaged that this would end, but it hasn't. I've talked with my parents a couple of times now regarding how this makes her feel, and they seem pretty set on sticking with their opinions. We've talked about it twice now, and they're willing to have another conversation, but the dust is not settled. I'm trying my best to be there for my partner when there are two different opinions going on. As I haven't experienced this, I don't know what's right and wrong. If it means putting my foot down to support her, I'm willing to do so, but was hoping for advice on that if that's even necessary. We haven't had a recent photo up, but I could use some help to help navigate future occurrences. Well, I'm going to tell you this. Fiance and girlfriend ain't wife. So you know, what your parents are saying is correct. You're not going to get no support on this from me. They want a family photo. She ain't in your family. She's in your heart, but she's not in your parents. She's not a relative. She's just she's a girlfriend with a ring on, but she's still a girlfriend. Do you know how many engagements are broken every day? That don't mean nothing. Yeah, thank you, Ash, for explaining. Yeah, I had an injury in this eye, and then I don't know what happened with this one, but this one I got a toy car. I had to have an emergency. Some people who've been around the channel know I had to have an emergency surgery for detached retina when I got hit in the eye with a toy car.
one of those little Hot Wheel cars. And my little cousin who threw it is not like, he was 6.5, but he's not like a little skinny. He's like a baby Hulk 6.5. And so that thing, he pit my eye so hard. So when they did the surgery, they told me I was going to have a cataract surgery eventually. And that's what happened. So anyway, just to refresh everybody's mind, that's what happened with that. But back to this guy in his letter. Dude, you need to understand what your parents' position is. You are not, she's not your wife. So she's not family. Okay. Now she can get all her feelings in it if she wants to, but it doesn't matter. And I'll tell you this, even as a wedding photographer, which I used to do in college and after for a while, I worked for this photography studio, and they trained me to be a wedding photographer. When you take pictures, you take the pictures with the bride and the groom, with both sets of parents, right? Then you take the bride with just her parents. You take the groom with just his parents, because those parents usually want that picture with their kid. They don't want the picture with the other kid. They just want the picture with them and their kid in it. Now, if you looking to upsell people, which I always, that's how we made our money, you're going to take every possible arrangement, the bride and groom with their dog, the groom with his pet bird. I mean, whatever you can do to get pictures that they want to buy, that's what you're going to do. And so in this particular case right here, get ready for that, because that's going to also happen at your wedding. Because your parents are going to want pictures with just you, and her parents are going to want pictures with just her. Then they'll want some of the two of you together. And then you two of you together with nobody else in them is another combination. Bride by herself is another combination. Groom with him by himself is another combination. Groom with his groomsmen, and bride with her bridesmaids. I mean, there's so many different arrangements here. People can't be getting their feelings because they're not in a picture. That's stupid. Tell your girlfriend I said to grow up, because she's just too old for this. And, that's just how it's going to be for the rest of your life. And then there'll be, as you guys have children, your parents and her parents are going to want pictures of their kid with just the grandkids, not you and not her. So this is just a part of life. Y'all just need to get over this. You're not joined at the hip, and you're going to be in separate pictures for people who care about you, because they care about you more. They care about the other person too, but they care about you more because you're their blood relative. And that's just how it is. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, these people just be doing the most. This column never ceases to amaze me. And all these years I've been doing this show, and well, actually before I started doing this show, doing the column period since the early '90s. Uh, it just, people just never cease to amaze me for the stupid stuff that they want to get is upset about. That shows you they don't have any real problems. You know what I mean? They don't have any real problems, because to them, being in the picture is worrisome. Question number 2. Oh, Slipper done showed up? Well, it's about time. 20 female, 22 to 27 from Las Cruces, New Mexico. Summary of the issue: my boyfriend doesn't want me to listen to breakup songs if he is present. I put that shit on repeat and play it in his ears when he was asleep. My boyfriend and I have been together for almost 2 years and have always been passionate about pop music and can sing along to all the songs by heart. In the past, I've often talked to him about a breakup because of the usual relationship problems. That was the first time he told me that he doesn't like it when I sing along to pop songs about breakups. His reasoning is that I often listen to songs more for the lyrics and the melody, which is somewhat true, because I value good lyrics that I can relate to or related to in the past. We were separated for 2 months in December. He broke up with me and are now back together. But since then, we've had a rule that I'm not allowed to listen to music about the breakup in his presence. Wait a minute. Allowed? But there are songs that are cool regardless of the content, and I sometimes want to listen to them because I just love them. Me singing to a breakup related song doesn't mean that I feel like the lyrics. Do you think it's weird that I'm not allowed to do that? Or should I respect this out of consideration for my boyfriend? No, you should have cussed him out. That's my answer for 90% of these questions. Cuss those motherfuckers out and just get them straight real quick. Secondly is, you had a daddy. He wasn't that person, and he don't get to tell you what you can listen to. As your parents do that when you're young, teen, they'll tell you can't listen to like gangster rap or, you know what I mean? They had that kind of, in our house, they had rules about certain kinds of music that we could not listen to because of our age and vulnerability as minors. Fine. Once we turned 18, then we'd listen to whatever we wanted to. But while we were kids, they were trying to protect our little minds and stuff. And so we respected what they were talking about. So in a situation like this, though, you plenty grown, you past, adulthood. There's no reason for him to be out on his feelings that because you listen to a song that means you think about breaking up with him. And first, and then the main thing is when you guys did it, you just talked about breaking up, but he actually did it. So if anybody should be worried about somebody, following along to a song, it should be you, right? You worried about him following the script of a song since he's the one that actually did the breaking up. But I don't know. See, again, this is just something that's stupid, immaturity, not a real problem, some made up bullshit that y'all just want to be upset about. All you had to tell him when he said that, you're not allowed to say, motherfucker, do you want to be broken up again? Because that's where this would be headed. You don't tell me what I'm going to listen to. I'm going to listen to everything I want to, as many times as I want to, and as loud as I want to. And if you don't like it, there's the door, hit it. Because them 2 months when we was broken up, I enjoyed myself. So I can just like, you did. I saw somebody said, oh, she saw a fine Asian police officer in the store and instantly thought of me. That's right. Girls be on the lookout. Yeah, that's a sliver. I would be like blasting that shit. And then when he went to sleep, you know how they had them ear pods? I would slide that ear pod into his ear. Singing, I hate you, motherfucker. We breaking up today. We breaking up today. I can't stand you. Now I don't even know if that's our lyrics to anybody's song, but sounds good to me. Let's move on. Question number 3. This is a male in the 42 to 49 age group. He's African American from Chicago, Illinois. Summer issue. My ex-wife is upset that I told my daughter, who's 16, that she cannot force someone else to be a parent. Your wife is angry at that. Why would she be mad at you telling her the truth? Okay, this is going to be interesting. How long is this? Okay. My daughter recently came to me to tell me that she is 13 weeks pregnant and that she is upset because her boyfriend wants no part of the child's life and has been trying to get her to get rid of it. I told my daughter she has a choice to make, either raise this kid as a single mother or consider her options. She has in her head that I or the system can force her boyfriend to step up. I explained that no one can force someone to be a father. It just doesn't work that way. I told her that her mother and I will do what we can to support her, but the majority of the burden will be on her. FYI, I co-parent with her mother. We got divorced 12 years ago. Her mother called me livid, yelling at me because I told her daughter that she has no choice but to raise the child as a single mom. My ex is under the impression that I should have been more hopeful and positive with her because we don't know what the boyfriend will feel once the child is born. She has been feeding our daughter that once her boyfriend sees the kid, he will come around. I do not buy that line of thinking. I know she is so delusional. I told my ex that, to be frank, I think our daughter should go for an abortion or consider adoption. I do not think a child has any business raising a child. My ex is under the impression that both of us will take on this responsibility to allow our daughter to finish school, go to college, and become established. I told my ex flatly that if she wants to raise another kid to go anywhere to 6 to 8 years, that is on her, but I am not being involved. I will provide support, but I refuse to raise this kid because both of them are being emotional and not thinking logically about the situation. I've listened to you off and on for years, mainly for the last when you go in on people. But right now, I'm seriously seeking your level-headed opinion, Deb. Was I wrong to say what I said to my daughter? Nope. I said the exact same thing to my daughter starting when she was 12 years old. I started on, getting in her head, telling her about what she best not do, and that if she made that decision that she wanted to, to be pregnant. I mean, I'm not saying you can't get pregnant and then do something about it, but I mean, if you decide to carry it to term and quote have yourself having a baby, it's all on you, and you ain't living with me either, because I can't stand screaming kids. I can't do it. My neighbor down the hall, she got her grandkids today. These little motherfuckers, I don't know, what are they, deaf? Do they have ADHD? I don't know. There's something wrong with them because I've never seen kids. They're this far from each other and they're shouting at the top of their lungs like the kid is 2 blocks away. So when they come over, it is so goddamn loud. I'm constantly, like every weekend when they come over, I have to go outside and tell them, look, quiet that down. Keep that down at your end of the parking lot. Don't come down here with that noise. I don't want to hear it. And so I'm at the grumpy neighbor label, but I just don't care. It's like 4 of them and they scream. They don't just talk, they scream. I can't take it. Do you think I want to hear screaming ass baby? That's so not gonna happen. So I've told my daughter, that's just not going to happen. So, dude, I am like 900% in your corner. And, one thing that you might want to do too is, because your daughter she's being emotional, you're right. What you might want to do is have her write down everything that babies need, right? Like diapers and formula and, daycare costs and all stuff, right? Just make a list and then tell her to start researching how much those things are going to cost. Clothes, shoes, medical care, all this kind of stuff. How much is that going to cost and how is she going to pay for it? The only thing they can kind of do is, they can take the little boy to court and make him pay child support, but if he's as young as her, like in his teens and stuff, he don't have no money. He's a kid. Kids, he doesn't have it. He's not going to have any resources to give, even if they do get a court order. So it's just a pointless endeavor. But I think doing it that way, you don't have to say a word. You just say, well, you need to, make a budget. So here's the kind of things you might want to consider putting on it. So look up, whatever the current cost of all this stuff is. We haven't paid this since you was a baby, and that was 16 years ago. So, I don't know what to tell you, but here's a list, and just look at that and make sure that you're going to have enough money in the bank to handle your financial responsibilities with this kid you want to have as a single mother. They're going to hold it again. Well, in Illinois, you know that for a fact? Because here they don't. They don't do that. Not done that way. Whoever's the father is the father, and that's just it. If you dumb enough to have a baby by somebody who's a minor and they don't have no job, then you just better get the kid on welfare or something. That's your only option. The parents are not going to pay for it. They're not the ones that laid up in bed and made it. At least in California, I don't know what they're going to do because she's in Chicago. So I don't know what the rules are in Illinois. So I can't really say anything about that. But that's the approach I would take because it kind of levels things out and it flips it back to the logical and, logic and reality versus all this high emotion that they're on right now. It's going to be interesting. Let's see what happens with that. Let me know how they take it. I'm just so nosy now. Question number 4 of 25. We have 25 questions. Yeah, she said that almost grandma is delusional. Yes, she is. But he might not be dusty. He might just be a kid like her, 16 years old. That doesn't make him dusty. It just makes him young and, too immature for this kind of level of responsibility. But see, this is why I tell people that they should tell their kids, yeah, they want to do the nook thing, they want to do the wild thing and all stuff, and they feel like, oh, but it feels good as I'm going to keep my man and all this kind of stuff here. You ought to stay in your girl's ears and tell them, well, that might be true, that it does feel lovely and all stuff, but think of the responsibilities that come with that, because that particular behavior is made to create life between humans. It may be fun, but it's meant to create life. So if you slip up and create a life, what you gonna do? How you gonna pay for it? Don't look for me to give you a dime. What you gonna do? And you need to put that bug in your girl's ear so that they, no matter what, some little boy comes along talking to them about what he wants and his blue balls and all these other games they use, she'll be Teflon coated through the bullshit. And she'll be thinking about what you told her and how her life would be ruined by trying to please him versus telling him, you get out of my face and go do whatever you need to do with Pamela and Five Finger Mary, make the magic happen, get away from me. So, there's a responsibility to the parents. It doesn't sound like this mother, since she's so, into this, we'll support you and all this kind of stuff, is like that. She's not like that at all. Oh yeah, my shirt today says, fun fact, I don't care. I like people send me these shirts when they find stuff that has these little nasty grams on them. They send them to me. My younger brother sent me this one. So too funny. All right, so let's see. The question number 4, this is from a female in a 35 to 41 age group. It says, no location provided, and Candace put a note. She sent an email and did not use the proper form, but I included it anyway. Oh, see, normally I delete those because I feel like people need to pay, use the proper submission protocols. But let's see what happens here. Time of issue. I'm not sure what to do about my friend and her raggedy mother. Deb, thanks for reading my letter, and Candace, thanks for selecting it because I need guidance. I have a good friend of 13 years. We served in the military together. She's still active duty and I retired. She's super stressed because of her job. She wants marriage and children. And 2 years ago, she took her mother in when her dad passed away. Her mother is 74 and has a lot of health issues and is quite slick at the tongue and rude. I even refuse to visit my friend as long as her mother is there. I warned my friend, who is now 40, that taking her mom in would be very stressful and might make tensions worse between them, based on my own experience with my sickly mother who lived with me for 3 months at a time. My friend said, "It's my mom and it's what I have to do." End quote. I gave her props for it, but under these circumstances where they bicker at each other and say the nastiest things to each other, I think it's a recipe for disaster. Fast forward to the other day, my friend expressed that her mother, urinated on herself while sitting in the chair. She told her, "You do know that you're peeing on the carpet." Her mother said, "So?" Wow. My friend stated that she lost it and popped the shit out of her mom's hand. Oh, like a 2-year-old. That's interesting. Then made her get up to wash up. She also pushes her mom to do things that she's physically incapable of doing sometimes. But when they are around others or in public or mom is in the hospital, my friend goes above and beyond to look like she's the best caretaker in the world. Her mom even stated this. I've already spoken to my friend about forgiveness and leaving her in her hometown for other families to take care of her. After this revelation, I don't see my friend the same way, and I'm not sure exactly what to say to her. I guess I should be willing to lose another friend with honesty and threaten to call adult services on her. I'm lost and afraid for them both, and could use an idea or two on what to say to her, if anything. Thanks, Deb. Love all that you do. Well, I mean, a little pop on the hand is not going to qualify as a APS case. I used to work for APS. That's not gonna that ain't they don't reach the level of opening a case. If she were doing some fiscal mismanagement, or like the woman who wore diapers and she leaving a pissy diaper all day or something like that, then they would be all over it. But it doesn't sound like she's taking reasonably good care of her. The only thing is they fight about one thing or another because the mother's a grump and the daughter is stressed. There's not a caregiver of a senior or a disabled person in this world that's not stressed. Let me just tell you that straight up. She's already stressed from her job, and then that's a double whammy for her. What you should suggest, instead of threatening to call APS, provide her support. Give her a list of respite care workers through your where are you again? Oh, that's right. We don't know where you were because you didn't use the form, so we don't know. Um, they have respite workers social workers that'll come in to your house while you go get a break, get your hair done, get your nails done, go see a movie and have lunch with your friends, even overnight, stuff like that, so you get a break. This is very mandatory for caregivers. If you have special needs kids or adults that are aging and need extra support. You might also, once she's in contact with social services, they'll direct her to other kind of support systems that she can get, like like a porta potty that goes right in the mother's room, so she doesn't have to struggle to try to go to the bathroom. They can get her discounts on those incontinence pads. There's all kind of supports that she can get. Now, if you're gonna be her friend, that's what you do. That's the route you take. You don't go threatening her, and you don't go judging her. You go and provide information that will support her. If she refuses to avail herself of said information and support system, well, then that's on her. But okay, that's the approach. I'm gonna tell you um, what you do. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Being the mom who's proactive. She's like, we ain't even gonna play with this. That's right, because they're young and they're stupid and they get emotional and they don't think. They don't have any reason and logic and they don't have life experience yet. It's up to us to step in and do those things for them, because kids don't have any sense. They make stupid decisions all the time, every day. Shit, even adults be writing in here. They be way older than the 16 and still making stupid decisions. So if you got your little daughter 16 and stuff, step in. Step the fuck in and protect her from herself and Dusties. Good job. Question number 5. This is a male in the 28 to 34 age group. He's Caucasian from Spokane, Washington. Summary of issue. I gave a girl my number. Wait a minute, 28 to 34, and you calling them girls? How long do women typically wait before texting? So there's this girl who came into my job to shop on 2 separate days. We saw each other, made eye contact. I smiled. She smiled back. Now, I don't claim to be great at this, but I'm pretty sure if she held eye contact with me, that usually means that she's interested or wanting me to do something. I didn't see her, though, for a couple of weeks. I couldn't get her out of my mind. I'm not the type of guy who just asks every cute girl for her number either. Anyways, dot, dot, dot. I saw her again yesterday. Again, we recognized each other, and I panicked and gave her my number, which I had already written down as I was ready. Okay, go on, player. dude was ready at the call. I said, "Excuse me." I told myself if I ever saw you again, I would give you my number. Is it all right if I give you my number? As I handed it to her. Well, you didn't like let her say yes. You just mashed it on her. We chatted very briefly. I was probably visibly nervous. She said I looked familiar. I told her that she had a beautiful smile, to which she said, "Oh, thank you, my name. You do too," at which point I realized that I hadn't even asked her name, so I'd asked and said, "Nice to meet you," her name. It's now been a little over a day. Am I overthinking this? Did I mess something up? Is she trying to not text me too soon? Should I have asked her for her number? I heard it's better to just give your number to women because then, on the off chance that she's not interested, it's less pressure on her. I'd hate to ever make anyone uncomfortable. Help me, he says. Okay. Yeah, girl, because them snips don't be like resealing themselves. I know a couple people that happened to. One couple, I saw a couple on Montel. They were like ginger headed people, couple sitting there looking shell shocked, right? Holding this baby in their lap that was about 9 months old. Cute little girl, little chubby baby. And the man had been snipped and the woman had a tubal ligation. And yet in their lap was a baby with DNA proof that was theirs. Now, please explain to me how that happened. How that had happened to did. See, so that's why I'm saying, that's good. That's smart because once I saw that, and that was, when how long ago that was when Montel was airing, I never forgot that shit because the look on those two people's faces. I will never forget that total horror that they had. I mean, the baby was cute and everything, but neither one of them wanted children. That's why they had gone through taking those precautions. They were young. So shoot. Yes. There you go, Sliver. That's what I'm talking about. Play it safe, protect yourself. So anyway, let me get back to the dude. See, I've been going off on my side tangent. Dude, okay, you just gave her your number yesterday. You know what? Usually it takes people about 3 days to make the first contact. Because you gave it to her now. You've had all your time to be nervous and thinking about her and all those stuff here. Don't you think that she should have that same privilege? Why is it that you think because you gave her your number, now she's supposed to be instantly so interested in something? Can't she be thinking about it, be nervous and wondering and all stuff just like you did? Come on now, let's grow up a little bit here. Secondly, stop calling adult women girls. That is so demeaning and degrading. Girlhood ends at about 16. Then they become young ladies from 17 on, and then they're young women, and then they're around 30, you just a straight woman, and that's just all there is. Ain't nobody in your age group a damn girl. Okay? Stop that. All you guys, these guys do that, and it's just so stupid. It's so demeaning. And it makes you sound kind of pervy. Like you're an adult and you talking about I gave my number to this girl. So see, my mind immediately goes to like middle school age, and you talking about adults, and I'm like that don't compute. I gave my number to a young lady. Okay, that's what you should have wrote here. That's so you need to fix your mind. Don't be running around telling your friends I gave my number to this girl because it don't even sound right. You sound like a fool. Okay, so you flirted and all this stuff, and it's a day. Should I have asked for her number? Nope, because she expressed no interest in you other than just looking at you, but she could have been looking at you just to see because you were looking at her. Think, what's he looking at me so hard for? That don't mean that she was interested. Um, is she trying to not text me too soon? I don't know. She might be busy. She might have shit going on. I don't know. What's going to graduation or whatever. I don't know what people are doing these days. But whatever it is, don't worry about it. You'll see her again eventually. She might have lost the number. You gave it to her on a piece of paper. You know what I mean? These days, don't people have like the little scan thing, the little where it scans and it's your number, your contact information, like a business card, but it's a social card, and you just scan it. What you doing with a piece of paper? That's so 90s. So anyway, just wait. Okay, just wait. Stop being. Yeah, he's so impatient. It's ridiculous. Guys in their late 40s use the term girl. See, that just doesn't work for me. That'd be like me with some guy and I'm calling him a boy. No, that's I don't want to date boys. I want men. Okay. So, and you as an adult male should want woman, not girl. Get your mind right. This don't even sound right. And then, what's this thing about texting? Your ass is too fucking old to be talking about somebody texting you. You a grown ass man. Pick up the phone and call a woman. But hopefully she has better sense than you do when she calls you. All you dudes trying to get by with texting bras and thinking you're going to establish a relationship via text. Fucking cowards. Just stupid. Is she going to text me? No, she's not going to text you because she got better sense than you. You dumb. Question number 6. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's Caucasian from the UK. Some of the issues. Should I, quote, dump this so-called friend? Last year, I met a girl from a Facebook group friend to make friends. Yes, I know to some that may be strange. Anyway, it's put me off on making friends online. We would meet probably once a month. It was always her insisting to meet for coffee, and she is local, so I said, okay, even though every time before we would meet, I would actually dread meeting her. God knows what was going through my head. Anyway, every time she would just talk about herself, she's very overwhelming, where I'm just kind of chilled and laid back. But a few months ago, I told her I was pregnant, and she barely had anything to say. Then a few months after that, she tells me that she's pregnant with twins, and now she only talks about herself and never asks about me and how my pregnancy is going. The other day, she messaged me saying that she had booked her maternity photos and that it was a random out of the blue message. Not, no, how are you? No, have you booked any photos? I find her very selfish, and in fact, I did not even reply. She also did not wish me a happy birthday, but proceeded to post a happy birthday message regarding another friend on the same day as mine. I'm so tempted to just block her and move on with my life. What is all the ladies' thoughts? I don't like confrontation. So either I block her or I won't speak to her again, as dramatic as that sounds. You are just, ugh. Okay, first of all, any woman, a grown woman, who is afraid of confrontation should never have children. You should never have children. You know why you shouldn't have children? Because your ass is weak. If you can't confront nobody, you don't have no business being somebody's mother because you won't have the mama bear instinct to protect your child the way that you should. So when somebody's bullying your kid, you're going to be afraid of confrontation. You're not going to go to the school and confront the parent, confront the teacher messing with your kid and doing unfair practices to him. You're not going to go up there and confront the teacher. The teachers at my daughter's school were scared. When they picked up that phone and I say, this is Deborrah Cooper, they would get quiet because they knew hell was about to rain down on their heads. You done fuck with my kid. Oh, bitch, I'm about to be up there and it's not going to be pretty for you. It was terrible. It's terrible. It feels one-sided, but what I'm saying is she's talking about she's pregnant. That's the part that's bothering me the most. Not the fact that she's got this stupid friendship. She can have that all day long. But once you start being a parent, you cannot be afraid of confrontation. You have to find your spine. You have to protect your child. And that means you have to get in people's face. You're going to have to check them. And sometimes you're going to have to check even the other parent about the kid and how they talk to it or treat it or do whatever. You cannot be a mother and be afraid of confrontation. If you are, then you don't ever have children. And I'm going to tell you that right now. So for you, I don't know how far along you are, but this is something you should have really thought about because you're going to be a good mother like this. Yes, I'm reaming you because this is stupid. Now, the thing about this is, see, you can't even tell this bitch, you know what? There's no benefit to me to be in this friendship with you because all you ever do is talk about yourself and it's selfish and one-sided. So let's just end this. I'm going to hang up now. Nice knowing you. Wish you well in your pregnancy and your future. Click and then block. That's all you had to do. So all this writing to me and, telling me how, you need everybody's buy-in and what's everybody going to say and all this stuff. These people over here, they're not like you. Okay. The people some of them may have come here like that when they first got here, but they ain't like that now. Everybody on this channel is a savage. So, you better pick some of that up, chick. Yes, it's very bad. That's Diana. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm afraid of. People are going to take advantage of her child because she's too weak to stand up to them to protect her kid. You can put your phone in your car, Diana, and you could listen. Don't you have that kind of car where you put my phone goes through the speakers? And I can listen to everything while I'm driving, podcasts and whatnot, YouTube, everything. But yeah, remember I got that fancy car when was that? Last year? When did I get that car? Yeah, I guess it was last January. I got a new car because my other car was like 20 years old. Then I sold it. But yeah, this bothers me. This makes me scared for her child. Mothers like this is not a good thing. Question number 7. This is a female in the 20 to 35 4 age group from Derby in the UK. Summary of issue: FWB disaster, and I'm feeling awful. Uh-oh. I'm too ashamed to speak to my friends in real life about this, as I have let a man walk all over me, and I feel embarrassed to be writing to you. I briefly started a FWB type arrangement with a guy I had been on a couple of dates with, and initially started well, and I was happy with it. He would message me every day, and we would arrange a couple of evenings during the week where he would come to mine. He wouldn't let me go to his, which was a red flag in hindsight. And you didn't catch that. We would watch a film, sometimes have dinner, chat, have nook, and then he'd stay for a bit afterwards and then leave. It felt mutually respectful at this point. However, he suddenly started becoming very hot and cold and borderline rude when he was messaging me. One minute he would say he liked me and didn't want me just for nook and would be messaging all day, and the next he would be making it very clear he wasn't particularly interested in me, would go quiet or make sarcastic comments about things I had previously said that he seemed to find funny. If he got the sense I was backing off, he would ramp up his efforts again and be overly nice. Occasionally, he would hint at taking me out on a proper date, but this never materialized. If I didn't message him first, sometimes he would sulk and accuse me of ghosting him, and he said I was hard work and he refused to chase me. It just felt like a head fuck, but I overlooked all this as it was just a casual thing, and I didn't feel like he owed me anything, really. On occasions we did sleep together, it seemed very clinical. He didn't pay me any compliments, didn't say he enjoyed it, but pretty much do the deed and get dressed and leave. He even started making it clear he was taking the used con with him rather than put it in the bin, which just seemed like overkill and unnecessary. He has never liked this in the beginning. He actually was quite caring and sensitive in bed. It then got to the point I wouldn't hear from him for days, and he'd text me in the evening asking if he could come around. I shut this down and told him I needed more notice. To add insult to injury, I think he'd actually been on a date one evening, and then he tried to come to mine on his way home, which just cemented what he really thought about me. The last time I saw him, he came to mine after he'd been drinking all day. He actually drove to my house over the limit, and I told him he needed to leave his car here and get a cab home, but he refused, and he drove home anyway. The drunk driving and the fact that he made me feel like an unpaid prostitute led me to block him as soon as he left. Was that the right way to end things? It was a bit of a knee-jerk reaction, but I've had enough. Well, it's about time you had enough. Who would have to go through all of that? You know when I would have had enough? Okay, let's see. And okay, there's a couple of things going on here. One is, the main thing is, you admit that it was a FWB, but then you would get upset when he didn't keep in contact with. He would be hot and cold, and he would say he liked you, and you weren't just for nook, and he would message you all day. Then he wasn't interested in you. Why would you expect him to be interested in you? You're confusing boyfriend with FWB. They're not the same. FWB, you might do some of the stuff you said, watch a movie, grab a little snack or something, drive through at the burger place because you're taking it back to the house, but you don't have put all this on it, all these expectations and all these measurings and all this kind of stuff. You would be out doing other stuff with other men. You wouldn't be tripping about what he's doing. The fact that you only was dealing with him shows you had something else in mind. You kept hoping it's going to morph into something else, which is why your feelings are hurt now. So I'm going to suggest this. You did the right thing. You did it sound like months too late, but at least you did it. In the future, don't you get into a FWB, and don't you sleep with anybody either until you have a solid, committed relationship. You're that type of woman. You can't do the FWB thing because you get your feelings involved too early, too sensitive and too early. And all the stuff he did, tested after he could come around on the same day and all this kind of stuff. That's just, and he goes on a date with somebody else, and he want to come by and just tap it before he goes home to just relieve himself like you a toilet? No. That's not what the FWB is all about. There has to be mutual interest, mutual scheduling, mutual agreement about, what you all gonna do and when you're gonna do it and how and all this other stuff here. And then he coming over to you when he's drunk and all stuff. Yeah, she did play herself on this one. And worrying about if he's drunk and drunk driving and shit. So you're not his mother and you're not his girlfriend. If he want to drive drunk behind the wheel, that's his red wagon. You had no business even saying anything about that. I mean, it's stupid. He could hurt himself or somebody else, yes. But how does that involve you? You're not his woman and you're not his wife. So what he does, if he slams into a tree or something, goes over a cliff, I mean, shouldn't have been drunk driving. I mean, what you want from me? It's a benefit when, but you have to have the mentality where you run shit. Okay, when you want it, you call him. You don't let them call you. You call him. And it's on your schedule, your availability, your interest. That's how, if you don't do it properly, and then you got other stuff going on, so you're not really tripping about him. They used to call it in the 90s. Actually, somebody wrote a book about it with that title called The Maintenance Man. That's all they do. But you the one that's in charge of that. He don't get to call you and ask for shit. So, if you have a FWB situation and you ain't running it that way, ladies, you're doing it wrong. You're going to get yourself caught up in some stuff. Yeah, girl, like the toilet. That's what I sound like what he's doing. Question number 8. This is a young man in the 22 to 27 age group out of Denver. Some of issue. Is this older woman at my job flirting? She said I was in her dream. Oh, boy, here we go. I'm attracted to this older woman at work. She's like 15 years or maybe even older than me. She and I are friendly with each other, but we never interact that much. The other day I passed by and she smiled and said, why was I over there? And I told her I need to help someone with something. When I walked past, she said, did you fix their problem? I said, yeah. And she said, blank, you're such a good boy. Okay, this must be meaningful to him for him to put this word by word dialogue in here. Then today she said she had a dream that I quit and that I think her and other people were sad. She asked me if I'm thinking about quitting and if she needs to get me to speak to someone. Well, she just knee deep up in your Kool-Aid now. It's mostly the dream thing that made me think that she could be interested, because I've never dreamed about anyone here. And doesn't that mean that she's thinking about me outside of work? Nope. What your subconscious does is when you have dreams, you will tend to pull, especially if there's faces, you will pull faces because, dreams are visual. You need like a face. I mean, a face. It could be something you saw on TV. It could be somebody you saw at work. It could be somebody you saw on the bus. It's somebody in the grocery store. It doesn't matter where you saw the person. You're going to pull a face, though, but it just does tend to be faces that you see more frequently that will appear on the characters in your dreams. Does that mean that you're dreaming about that person with the desire in your heart? Absolutely not. Sometimes it's dreams of people that you can't stand, but they appear in your dream. You wish you didn't think about them, but they're in there anyway. But your dream, the subconscious, is the energy that you have about whatever. So she might be having some kind of anxiety, and it showed up as being something associated with you, but it's really something associated with herself or some other person that she knows. Who knows what's going on in her life? But for her to go to work and say, I dreamed about you last night is very interesting. I don't think I would never do anything like that, especially with a guy on my job. I would never say anything like that. It's totally inappropriate. So for you, and I want to remind you of this, Mr. 22 to 27 in Denver, you ain't going to get involved with nobody on your job. Okay? You don't say what ethnicity you are, but whatever it is, it's going to get you in trouble. You're off on the wrong track. All the women in the world, you don't have to shop for some booty on your job. That is a recipe for fucking disaster, and it's a way for you to derail your career before you even get it going good. You just got out of college, most likely not too long ago, and here you are in your little job. It sounds like you're on some kind of help desk thing. You're going to help somebody, so it sounds like you're on a help desk computer ITD kind of tip. So you need to keep your nose clean. You need to stay away from the women on your job. You date people from other places. You ain't interested in nobody where you get your paycheck. Never get your honey where you make your money. Okay? If you don't remember nothing else that I say, you remember that. And you follow that script until the day that you retire. Okay, you don't do that. So all this stuff you wrote in about or you talking about over here and stuff unnecessary and irrelevant. You ain't gonna do shit with nobody on your job. Ever. Okay? Just don't do it. Especially with somebody older. She probably married and stuff anyway. It just be messing with you for something to do. But you're not gonna do it because you're smarter than that. Okay. Question number 9. This is a young man. He's African American in the 28 to 34 age group from Columbus, Ohio. Summary issue. How would I go about asking random women who smells good the name of the perfume without looking like a creep or hitting on her? I hate the cologne scents that men get. My girlfriend uses a new one every week, and I've really grown to the scents that y'all get. I sometimes wear hers just because it reminds me of her and because I like the smell. I sometimes smell a random person's perfume and would like to know the name without sounding like a creep or hitting on them. I asked some girl who was in line at the gas station, hey, your perfume smells good. What's the name? And she proceeds to tell me I have a boyfriend. Everyone looked at me odd. This girl was maybe 20 years old. I'm obviously way older. What am I doing wrong? You got to lead. Your approach is stupid. Okay, for you to be this old is kind of, you rough around the edges. I don't know what kind of dudes they have in Columbus, Ohio. I never been there. I haven't seen any reason to go, but this is the way, you want to do something like that smooth. You in line behind the girl. This is how this would have went if I was a dude. Okay, I'm in line behind the girl and I say, smell. It's like, oh, what is that smell? That smells really good. Is that you? And she was just like, oh, my girl. Or you could say, excuse me, I've noticed that you have this fragrance, and my girlfriend really likes, to try new perfumes. Would you mind telling me what the name of it is so I can pick some up for her? So see, by doing that, you bring the girlfriend into the conversation immediately, so she knows it ain't about. I'm not nobody ain't trying to pick you up, little 20-year-old, and it's a woman I want to get a gift for. Okay, so then most women then would be helpful and say, oh yeah, this is Angelica Fresca's spring fleuret or whatever. I don't know. I don't wear perfume, and so well, you won't know his girl anyway. So I mean, obviously they mass produce it, so it's a whole bunch of everyone's wearing your scent. That's funny though, but it's you got to approach it like that. You have to bring your girlfriend into it at the front end. You didn't bring her in at all, so she has no idea why you asking her about, um, why was her perfume and stuff. I wouldn't necessarily say I have a boyfriend, but obviously something about you made her think that that's why you was asking. You get samples? Oh, I don't go in stores anymore, so I don't be getting samples. I shop for everything on the internet. I'm a bum. They be delivering stuff to my house like every damn day. I don't want to go anywhere. It's just too much trouble. You got to park, you got to hike in there, you go across the floor, get to the escalator, and go up and wander around, try to find what you find, and then you got to wait for the clerk because they want to sit there and look at you before they come and help you sit down. I get impatient, and they sitting there and they fold and close and doing all sorts of stuff instead of helping the people who are actually there. So then I get impatient. I say, like, you see me standing here, right? And then they get all in their feelings because they feel like I'm yelling at them, which I probably am. So you see what I mean? It's just like a bad scene. It's just bad. I don't have patience for that kind of shit. And I be yelling at them. So it's like, you need to get over here where you got customers waiting and get off the phone. I say stuff like that to them. And they just be looking at me and then they bring their happy asses over. But I decided it's too much trouble, so I don't want to do that anymore. Oh, you were funny. Okay, let's move on. He's perfume boy. Oh, well, see, Slivers, telling somebody at your job that's different than somebody in a store, some random person that you'll never see again. And, yeah, but you tell somebody at your job, well, yeah, them copying people that don't have no sense of, can't they have an independent thought if you paid them. Question number 10. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group out of Los Angeles. Summary of issue. I just found out that my heterosexual fiance slept with more than 10 men in the past. He claims he's now straight. I need advice. Oh my, can you imagine? And more than 10, that probably means more than 20. Here's some backstory. My fiance is 27 and I'm 28, and we were friends in high school. Right after graduating, he told me that he had feelings for me and that he loved me. But at the time, I didn't reciprocate those feelings. So he and I started to drift apart. We would check in from time to time because we both meant a lot to each other. Fast forward to 9 years later, I reached out to him, and from there we started a romance. When we reconnected, I told him I was still a V, and I wanted to lose my V to someone I trusted and loved, which was him. He told me that he'd only slept with two other girls that he met on a dating app. Fast forward 2 years from then, and now we are currently engaged and living together. So this is an 11-year time span. Y'all just wasted so many years. Okay, so let me put this out there now. He and I do not go through each other's phones, but something told me to scroll through his past messages. He was sitting right next to me. When I clicked on some random numbers thread, I saw that he had had a nook relationship with a man. I confronted him about it, and this fool didn't delete it. Wow, he's dumb. And he told me that he had only slept with one man and that he did so because he was confused due to a, quote, traumatic, heartbreaking experience from a man when he was younger. I asked him if there were any other men, and he said no. But later on that day, he let me see his phone, and I saw more messages from other men. He finally revealed to me that it was 10 or more men that he had slept with. Wow. Dude is, I guess he wanted her to find out. That's why he didn't delete them. He says that these men were from years prior before he reconnected with me, that he only wanted the comfort of another human being, and that only men were responding to him on the app, no women, and that when he finally slept with a woman 2 years before me, he knew that's what he wanted. He's denying that he's bi. He thinks it's due to him experiencing that traumatic experience, and quote, and being desperate for human contact. I wonder what it was. I don't know what to do because I feel betrayed that he lied to me. I just wanted the truth so he and I can move on without hiding anything. I guess my question is it possible for him to be straight now like he's telling me? I suppose anything is possible because, there's probably some people out there that will tell me that pigs can fly too and that little devils can ice skate in hell. There's probably some people that believe that. Would I believe it? Hell no. It's a big nah for me. Yeah, I'm feeling like, for him to do that many times, people don't do stuff that many times if they don't like it. And the fact that he liked it enough to go 10 or more rounds with, 10 or more different men, that means to me that he's got that interest. Now, whether he's acting on the interest or not is a different story. On the other hand, there are men who are, straight as an arrow for most of their life. And then they get a bee in their bonnet and they go out and they sleep with the men after they're married and have kids and stuff. So I don't really know what to tell you here. I was looking into this because I was going to do a show on these men who come and tell their wives that they're gay or that they are going to turn into trans or whatever. So I did a whole bunch of research and I decided not to do the show for some reason. But from what I understand, it's a different kind of experience for men, and a lot of them really enjoy it because it just feels different. It's different than anything they could do with a woman. And so, if they decide to go that route, then there's really not really much a woman can do that's going to deliver that same feeling for them. Because I ain't jigging nothing up your butt. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it, and you ain't doing it to me either. But, they really like it because that prostate stimulation. So I think this is highly risky for you. It's unfortunate that you've been with him all this time before you found out. And so now your emotions are invested and, you really love this little boy. But I'm very concerned that it's just too high risk. He's not firmly in the heterosexual camp. I would feel like he was just, experimenting, like he experimented with 10 dudes. So I wouldn't feel very confident about me being his one and only, choice. That wouldn't work for me. But you have to do you. But I just, went through all the things I would be thinking about. So you think, add yours to it and come up with whatever conclusion you want to. Yeah, it's on her. I mean, but at least, I just kind of explored all my thoughts about it with and shared them with her so she can, kind of do the same thing and see what she comes up with. Because this kind of stuff is strictly individual. I mean, there's women who, are married to men who they know they know what's going on and they just want to stay with them, date them and be married to them and they don't have a problem with it. That ain't me, but I'm just saying that those women do exist. So, I mean, she might come work her way around to it and be okay with it. I don't know what's going to ultimately happen, but it's going to be her and her relationship. And so that's how we got to leave it. Move on. Question number 11 of 25 questions. This is a young lady in the 20 to 34 age group from Wichita, Kansas. Summer issue. A woman won't take the hint that I don't want to be her friend, and now she's borderline stalking me. Okay, this is the second one of these weird friendships. I met this woman at my child's bus stop with her son, and after a few months, I realized she's someone I cannot be friends with. I've caught her telling lies to make herself seem cool. She constantly asks me for favors. She always redirects the conversation back to herself. She brags about the things that she has. And on top of all of that, I don't agree with her parenting style. Okay, so then what you doing? She yells, and she put that in all caps, at her kid for the dumbest things, and she believes in spankings. Her kid can yell like she does and throws tantrums. He's thrown my kids' toys before and broke them. I feel bad for him, but at the same time, I don't want him at my house or hanging out with my child too much. She asks to come over every single weekend. I have been saying no since November. And lately, I've just ignored her texts. I pick my kids up from school while her kid takes the bus home. She texts me as soon as he gets off the bus to come over, and I say, no, we're busy. But now she has been walking by our house or outside to come and play. She puts me in an awkward position because I have to say no in front of my kids and hers and come up with an excuse. I usually just say it's too close to when I need to start making dinner, or no, we are having family time because the dad just got home from work. One time I told her no because we were going to the park, and she asked which one because she would go too. I told her it was the one with the track around it so I could jog while they played. And this woman, who is very heavy set, said she would jog with me because she needs to lose weight. I told her she could meet us there if she really wanted to, but thankfully she never showed up, only because she doesn't drive and her boyfriend didn't want her there. Didn't drive her there, rather. I also work at a store open to the public, so the days that she knows I work, she comes in to say hello. I would try and walk away to the back and act like I'm busy, but she lingers around. And then I look like a slacker because I have to hide from her while my coworkers cover for me. She also found out that my kids were signed up for soccer and tried to be on the same team as them. Luckily, their team was already full, so she didn't get to. I am just so sick of her. She's the most annoying person I've ever met. I consider driving my kids to school just so I don't have to see her. But they love the bus and I don't want to take that social time away from them. I want to straight up tell her, look, you're just not getting it, and I would prefer that we not hang out outside of the bus stop. I also feel trapped hiding in my own house. Weak ass bitch. And hearing my phone buzz gives me anxiety because I know it's her pestering me. I need advice if I should just keep making up excuses, even though I've consistently said no for 6 months, or just straight up say I don't want to be her friend. G up and say, look, bitch, obviously you don't get a fucking clue. I've been telling you no, you ain't coming to my house for 6 months, and yet you keep asking me. I don't want you to go to the park with me. I don't want my kid to play with your kid because your kid is destructive and throws temper tantrums. I don't want to be around you because you yell and you think you beating on your kid is okay. Our whole ideas about life and everything else are completely different. We have nothing in common, and I don't even want to talk to you anymore. So from this moment on, our association, whatever the hell this is over. That's all you have to say. Yeah, but they think they need an excuse because, well, she don't say what the favors are. The woman probably was asking her for that. You remember how she said earlier that the woman kept asking her for favors? Well, she never said what the favors were, though. But, it's like, I don't know. I don't have a problem with telling people this. I had a friend one time, and suddenly, I was living with this boy, my boyfriend at the time, when, he had no business doing this when I was in college, living with this fool for a hot minute. And then all of a sudden, she, want to come over like a couple times a week around dinner time and want to eat with us. So suddenly, the first time I didn't really catch on to it. The second time I was like, why are you here again? And then the third time I was like, okay, you can't come, you can't eat here. You guys, time we're getting ready to eat, you gotta go. Why? Why? I said, no, this is you doing too much. I don't know what this is supposed to be, or why you decided to keep coming to my house when my man is here and we're gonna be trying to have dinner together and catch up on our day. It's not appropriate for you to be here, and I don't want you here, so go. You want to see me, we'll see each other on the weekend or something. It's just gonna be the two of us. She's not be coming to my house every day, sitting around me and up under my boyfriend like that. It's not gonna happen. And so I kicked her ass out. Okay, that was less than a week of that shit. She did by the time, like I said, she came the third day, and that was, I was like, oh, wait a minute, what's going on here? And I tossed her ass out. We're not even going down that path. And Deb does not mince words. I be in trouble all the time because I tell people what I'm not gonna do and call them out on stuff. Can't even tell you how many times I got written up on jobs for doing that. I don't give a fuck. Because it's like I have boundaries and you ain't gonna cross them. I don't really care who you are. I don't know if she loved or not, but she wasn't, because sometimes he cooked. I think the first time she came, he cooked. But I just didn't like it. I just something about it rubbed me the wrong way. No, you ain't come this a couple times. You ain't in the relationship. Get the fuck out. Yeah, see, TNT, she know that's what I'm talking about. Because I don't fucking want to. That's good enough. Let's move on to question number 12. This is a young lady in 18 to 21 age group. She's black from London. Male in question is 22 to 27. Summary of issue. My boyfriend keeps talking about pregnancy and kids, even though we agreed we will wait for a while. I don't tell him that pregnancy is being mentioned too much. You break up with him. This is the kind of dude that will sabotage your birth control and get you pregnant. You not even understand what's happening here. For context, my boyfriend's 24, I'm 20, and we agreed that we don't want to even think about kids until he is at least 30. I support myself completely, but I still want to finish school up to my master's, and kids will be way too much too soon. But lately, he's been casually throwing pregnancy talk into regular conversation. For example, I'll say, "Oh, I ate too much. The size of my stomach has doubled." And he say, "Oh, it's like you got a cute pregnant belly." So I respond with, "Yeah, a food baby." And he respond, "Nah, I think we'll have an actual baby in there." Or anytime we're out and about, he'll rub my tummy and be like, "Gotta protect the space and keep it comfy for the kiddos." And much, much more. Oh, hell no. At first, I brushed it off, but now it happens every time we go out. Is there some mention of my or our baby and try to deny and reiterate that it's going to be a while until? Not that I'm against kids eventually, but he was the one that set the kid boundary first. I just agreed that it seemed a good timeline for me as well. I don't know how to approach the topic to say it feels like too much and like pressure to have children. Help. Keep your birth control tight. Get something that he can't punch a hole in, like an implant on what's that shit they used to put in people's arm, that or some the IUD or something. But some of that I've heard stories where dudes pull those out. Yeah, he want to baby trap her. You really at this point you really need to dump him. This is not good. And he's trying to program you by repeatedly saying this. This that neuro linguistic programming tactic. I have a video on the channel about it where they keep saying it, they keep saying it, they keep saying it, they keep saying it. And so pretty soon it becomes like you start hearing it so much that you start believing what he's saying. You start adopting what he's saying as reality. Look at that video. Just go to where it says search this channel and type in NLP and it will come up. Listen to that and you'll see what I'm talking about. That's what he's doing to you. These dudes are so shady. It is not even funny. And even when they say, "Oh, he's such a nice guy," yeah, yeah, yeah. Nor plant, thank you. I just don't put it past any man. I don't care when they feel like some kind of way, like if they feel like you slipping away, or you're gonna be too great, too wonderful, too exposed to other men and shine too bright. Even the nice ones will start to try to find a way to fuck you up. And it always happens to you young girls that don't know the game. That's why I spend so much time on this channel trying to educate you about this kind of stuff. So you know what's going on and you can protect yourself. This young lady, you need to get away from this dude like pronto. He's going to ruin all your plans. And I noticed he didn't say nothing about being married. He just want to talk about putting a baby in you. That shows it's going to be like a baby trap situation. So you won't be able to go and get your master's degree and all this other kind of stuff because you'll be stuck with a baby. They take up all your time and you have to work and make money to self-support the kid. You won't have the freedom and the flexibility that you have right now. Dang. Ultrasound guided placement. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm not. I just recommend that the young ladies, stay away from these kind of guys. It's really like if she wants to, if she has all these goals for herself, her best bet is get herself a toy or two and do and not even mess with men until after she accomplishes all these goals. Because you just never know what you're gonna get. Is he gonna be abusive? Is he gonna be somebody who's gonna give you some dreadful disease? Is he gonna be like a gamer? Is he gonna be trying to get you pregnant? I mean, there's so much at risk for her. She's only 20 years old. It would totally derail her life because of what he wants. This is terrible. Question number 13. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's black from Brooklyn, New York. Male in question is 35 to 41. Summary of issue. How can I get answers? Hey, Deb, huge fan of you and your show. For the last year, I've been dating this guy who is kind and respectful to me always. We get along and communicate well. Okay, year. He has 2 jobs and he's planning to start his own business, so our time together has been very limited. My problem is that for the past year, we've never clearly defined this relationship, and I am unsettled by it. I have this lingering fear that this is just a directionless, casual situation. At first, I would tiptoe around the conversation because I was scared of rocking the boat or scaring him off, but I'm not afraid of that anymore. I want to address what we are and what we are doing. I'm ready to have that difficult conversation, but I also don't want to be rambling emotional mess when I do so. I want to leave the conversation fully aware if this is a relationship, my role in his life, and future plans. What are some questions I can ask him? What are some things I should say? I don't think it would be a good idea to ignore him, but should I just leave him alone and move on? Thank you for your help. I'm going to tell you this. I seem like I said this in a video not too long ago. Women should never ask me in this question. What are we? Where is this going? You don't never ask a man that. You tell him what you want, and then you say, are you ready to provide that? Now, obviously, he's not because he's not even hardly paying any attention to you. You should see the signs on the wall. You're just a convenience. What you have is what's called a relationship of convenience. It's convenient for him to get some nookie and to have somebody to talk to every now and then when he's not busy doing his other stuff. You don't really have, I mean, the conversation that you want to have with him would be inappropriate. What you should be doing is going out with other men, which is what I told you. You don't have a situation with him where you should be committed just to him. He never asked you to be his woman. He never asked you for that because otherwise you would be in limbo about what are we? You would already know. So see, you doing this wrong. You're not following the principles that you're supposed to have learned on this channel. You ignore them and you just going off rogue, and now you're all fucked up. Get your little ass. I mean, you don't have to tell him anything because he's not gonna notice. You start dating other men. You fill up your card, your free time or whatever with other dudes. You don't have to sleep with them if you don't want to. But shit, I would recommend that too because he's not your man. He's just somebody you've been wasting time with for a year. Okay? I mean, you sound you're enjoying the time. Maybe it's not really waste, might be too harsh of a word, but it's not going anywhere. It never was going anywhere. You know it's not going anywhere because of all his very limited time. When a man really wants to be with you, he invests time. He finds time. He makes time. Even when there is no time, he's gonna make time. I first experienced that when I was dating the guy that later became my husband. He had like a whole bunch of paperwork and billing and stuff. He was stuffing some envelopes or something. He was doing some promotion for his business and stuff. He brought all that shit over to my house, set it up on the table, set me down next to him, put my leg over his on the chair, and sat there stuffed in envelopes, looking at me and talking. He was multitasking. He wanted to be around me though. He wasn't not on the phone. He wanted to be looking at my face and touching me and all this stuff. But he had stuff to do, so he was doing that while he was looking at and talking and giggling and kissing on me. That's how men do when they really want to be around you. You don't have to hunt them down, ask what are we or anything like that. They tell you what they want. They tell you what we are. They ask for you to be their girlfriend, their fiance, their wife. They make it known. So the woman should never have this conversation. You should never do that. Put yourself in that position to start seeing a man and asking, what are we? Don't ever do that. If it's not, like I say, he's not giving you the relationship that you want, just next him or date other people. Because like I said, this ain't your dude. Never was. So all these things you want to ask him is just kind of weird. Yeah, I don't know. But she claims she loves what's on be on the channel and stuff, but it's like you not listening. You're not doing this right. Question number 13. Female, 22 to 27. She's black from Brooklyn. The male's 35 to 41, also black. How can I get... Oh, I'm sorry. This is the same one I just read. I'm confused. Question 14. Female, 28 to 34 from the UK. Summary of issue. I have to send money to a guy who was thinking about visiting me. What? Yeah. But I'm saying, like, if they're busy, like I said, they still make time for you. Even though, like, that's why I gave that example. That was my first time experiencing something like that. Because, I mean, in college, everybody's busy. And we sitting there doing homework together and stuff is different. But he brought his work to my house, and he was busy. I mean, he busy the whole time he was there. He's stuffing the envelopes and folding them flyers and whatnot. I asked him, do you want me to help him? He said, no, it's my thing. You just do you. So I should sit there and look cute. That's all I had. That was my job. And he did what he was doing with his busyness. So that was my first experience with that. And every guy who I've seen be really interested in a woman, that's what they do. They don't give a fuck how busy they are. If they have to stop by her house at lunchtime, if they'd be out on a truck or something, that kind of job where they're out on the truck, they'll stop by her job, bring her a drink or something, a soda, whatever her favorite flowers. They make some kind of contact with you that they initiated. Oh no, it's Maya. Oh no. Hi. Yeah, this is really sad though. Come on, girl. Okay, so she got to send money to a guy who's thinking about visiting her. I have a friend who recently developed a romantic interest in me. I, on the other hand, am not ready for anything right now since I have been through some serious mental health issues in this past year. We both live in different countries as immigrants, but we are both from the same home country. I did let him know that I'm not looking for any kind of relationship right now, but we can be friends. He said, okay. But he was also adamant about meeting me as friends to see if we have a connection. Okay, so he heard you, but he basically, I'm not trying to hear that. I want what I want. And so you going to meet me and we going to see if what I want is going to happen versus what you want, which is just be friends. Okay, that was right there, your signal that this was a red flag, and he should have just shut that down. After long discussion, he talked me into it. He said he would apply for the visa. He needed to book hotels and one-way flight for the visa requirement. He also mentioned that he's getting the flights for around $400. I asked him to book a flight with cancellation insurance to make sure he doesn't lose a lot of money if the trip is canceled. While he was waiting for the visa, I was feeling overwhelmed with the thought of meeting him and spending time with him, so I said I cannot meet him. He agreed and said he understands. He texted me recently saying that his visa was approved and he might just make the visit anyway since cancellation is going to cost $400, and asked if I'd be interested in meeting him. I said no again because at this point I felt like I was being pushed into doing something I did not want to do. Out of courtesy, I asked him if he wants I can reimburse him for his loss, and he said it was $400. Not to pay him $400. You show me where the insurance, the cancellation insurance he was supposed to get would make him pay the same price that the ticket cost. Did you not ask for that evidence? And then what you go volunteering to help him pay for some stuff you told him not to get unless they had cancellation insurance in the first place? What's wrong with you? I feel so stupid right now for getting myself into this situation. What should I do? He clearly knows I'm earning minimum wage, and $400 is quite some money for me. For full disclosure, I met this person once more than 2 years ago since we've known each other at an event. Okay, so you double dumb. What should you do? You should call him back or text him back and say, I don't have $400. And I told you at first anyway, I didn't want to go. You kept pressuring me. So that $400 ticket is on you. I'm not paying you shit. And then that's going to be the end of this blocking. He the one was putting all the mash on you and pressuring you and all this other kind of stuff. So, I mean, what's he want to come see you so bad for? And see, if a woman tells you that she's not interested in a relationship, but you still want to invest $400 and get a visa and come to see her anyway, well, that's a stupid decision that you made. That's on you. I would have positively flipped that back around on him and say, I'm not giving you a penny or a shilling since you're in the UK. I'm not giving you nothing. You out your rabbit ass mind. And that would have been the end of that. So you don't have to give him anything. If you feel really guilty, then you renegotiate for half that because the ticket costs $400. Then you should be on for $200 if you're gonna really be that generous. It should be no more than half. But I wouldn't pay his ass shit. Yeah, he doesn't respect her boundaries because whatever country they from, there's some countries where men are dominant and women are submissive, just culturally, and the women feel like they can't say no. But really, when all they want, if he's not listening to you, no, all you had to do was hang up. I said no. Click. Why would you stay on the phone and keep letting him pressure you like that? See, I don't know. I don't. Is it me? Is it me? I don't even know how much a shilling is. I just remember hearing that on some of those Shakespearean type movies. Um, yeah, this is very sad. You need a spine for real. Yeah, just change your number or something. That's what you do. Question number 14. This is a male in the 22 to 27 age group from Conroe, Texas. Oh, I used to go to Conroe all the time. Same issue. Girlfriend pointed an unloaded gun in my face. That's rather aggressive. We were meeting a good friend of mine when he moved out of state. We were visiting a good friend of mine when he moved out of state. He brought me to his bedroom closet to show me an AR-15 and a handgun. Are those illegal in Texas? Before that he had purchased after moving. I handled both guns after checking that they were unloaded and I knew they were safe. My girlfriend walks into the room and he hands the AR-15 to her. She does not check to affirm that it is indeed clear, and the first thing she does is point it directly in my face. I slapped the barrel down and said, "What the fuck are you doing?" in an aggressive tone. She then handed my friend his rifle back and stormed out of the room. She didn't like the fact that I aggressively chastised her for ignoring basic gun safety. She told me, "You didn't have to talk to me like I'm stupid." And I was there. Obviously, I did because you are. And she didn't understand my point was to make her feel stupid, but the action is dangerous, especially since she was not in the room to witness it being checked for like live ammo, and she did not check the gun herself. Am I wrong for aggressively chastising her, or should I have been nicer? No, you should have cussed her bitch ass out. Because she gonna argue with you. Okay, she did something that could have blown your head off and ended your life. Did she want to get defensive because you checked her? I would still be cussing her out, and we would broke up. So that's just me. See, because to me, I would take some like you go. The first thing you think of is to point it in my face, not out the window, out the ceiling, or just point it. Period. So you could look at yourself in the mirror, or whatever. You're gonna point it in my face, and that's the thing that was your default action with an assault rifle. We're through here, ma'am. You different from me because she would have got cussed out all the way outside to back to the airport or wherever, however you all got to your friend's house, and I would still be cussing out when I dropped her off at her house, and then we would be done. I'm not sure what it is that you're looking for to show that she's stupid and high risk for your life, but dude, if that is not a clue, I don't know what is. You better pay attention. Yeah, he's a dummy. I just don't even understand it. Question number 15. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's Asian from the UK. The male in question is 22 to 27 as well, and he is Caucasian. So I have an issue. My boyfriend said he doesn't want to have my baby because I'm Asian and the baby will have small genitals. No, he did not say that to you. Ooh, Lord, have mercy. I don't even know what to say. Yeah, see, these, Luna, see, Unc would have got pistol whipped. I'm sorry. I checked if that thing was loaded. I would have taken the butt in that thing and proceeded to commence to beating his ass with it. We are both 24 and have been dating for 9 months. My boyfriend and I were talking about getting married and having babies, but he said it's baby abuse because his baby will have my gene and I'm Asian, so the baby will have small genitals. Even though I explained not all Asians have small ones and my family has good genes, I don't mean genitals, I just mean genes in general. He still insists on this idea. When I saw a video of UK visitors traveling to my hometown and say this country is so much better than the UK, he saw it and said, "Well, why don't you go back home then?" Wow. And you still dating him? He said if I don't change my family name, he won't marry me because he doesn't want to get married at all. So that's his compromise. I just don't know what to do. It's called break up. It's called have respect for your culture and your heritage and your family. And it's called don't take racist insults from some stupid ass white boy. That's what that's called. You should have checked his monkey ass when he said that shit the first time. So, I mean, I'm not even going to say the racist, rude, crude things that I would have said back to him. I mean, I don't like to get down like that, but if you open that door, I'm going to walk you through it and we're going to proceed to waltz. Okay? Because I'm going to fuck you up with every single nasty thing I've ever heard that's a racial slur. I'm ready to hit you with it. You know, this is just terrible that you allowed him to say this many insulting, demeaning things about your heritage, your culture to your face multiple times. And you still want to call him your boyfriend. You better get your shit straight, young lady. Get rid of this fucking fool. Little racist prick. I can't stand men like this. Like, what you supposed to do? Just not be Asian all of a sudden to please his monkey ass? I don't think so. I tell you what, I used to work at Club One, right? Look at all the brothers that used to go there to play basketball. And I was always a trainer that worked on Saturday. So one day, two of them came in the room where I am, and they were like, "Oh, we were just in the locker room. I just, don't think we're trying to be funny or nothing, but we just have to tell you." So we was in there, and there's some, dudes walk around, just walk around. Women usually wrap them up in a towel, but the dudes just walk around, just free. And there was an Asian dude in there that had the biggest one that they'd ever seen, and they said they felt what's it like insignificant, or what's the word? um I can't think of the word right now, but like inadequate. They felt inadequate looking at it. And I said, really? They said, yeah, they had to get out the locker room because they was embarrassed. I was like, wow. I thought that was hilarious. That's why I still remember that I was rolling. The look on their face. Yeah, they said inadequate was the word. So, and it's like, what what's adequate for each woman is different anyway. I don't know why dudes think every woman wants some giant, John Schlong looking thing. That thing hurt you. That'll kill you. I mean, that nobody wants that. So, every woman's body's built different. I mean, I'm sure there's some women somewhere that would work for, but for the majority, that's just too much. So I don't know, but dudes just have this fantasy that's what we want. It's this giant thing like a baby elephant or something. I just can't get with it. It's just stupid. So yeah, but anyway, you need to move on from dude. Question number 16. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's black from Antioch, California. Summary of issue. Am I being anxious? Or is my boyfriend picking up on some, quote, manosphere type positions? How do I bring this up to a healthy discussion? You don't discuss shit with them. When they start spouting that kind of rhetoric, you just dump them. What's wrong with you? What is wrong with these girls who want to argue with these men and negotiate and compromise with these mere boyfriends that act stupid and don't even have they have no sense? Why would you commit to somebody who is that just off the deep end? Why would you find out that they're stupid and they have ridiculous ideas about women, women's rights and women's freedoms, or your race, your culture, your heritage, your body type, your looks, anything about you, where he's talking disapproval and he's ragging on you? Why would you stay with a man like that? I would dismiss that motherfucker so fast his head would spin. Yes, that's what I'm saying, Ash. You can do more tricks and not be like walking sideways like a crab the next day. Yeah. Okay, let's see what her boyfriend's doing. I'm just looking out for some advice. I need to watch my mouth. I'm looking for some advice on navigating a situation in my first relationship. It's been a year and a half, and we are long distance, but visit when we can. Generally, things are good. He respects me. I respect him. We love each other, and our values are pretty aligned. But lately, he has experienced some anxiety related to some stuff that he's been saying. Okay, this is long. I sometimes worry about red pill / manosphere content influencing him. He identifies as a feminist, but I've had a hard time interpreting things that seem too close to the topic garbage I see spewed from the whole manosphere thing. For example, during a conversation about pay gap and workplace equality, he brought up eventually the lack of women in sanitation work, waste management, and other less desirable work. What does it have to do with women getting paid? Which are the jobs they have right now that are not equitable in pay. They're doing the same job as a man. What is this diversionary tactic? While I think his question could have been good faith and legitimate curiosity, my past experience with this topic being weaponized made me react negatively, as you should have, because he was on some bullshit. Another example, when we were talking about this teenager that would seek out adult rappers to date, he asked about minors and, quote, seduction of adults, suggesting there might be a shared responsibility. I understand he might be interested, excuse me, in philosophical discussions. My anxiety makes it hard to see these as genuine questions because of the context I've seen this stuff in before. Most recently, during the whole bear versus random man thing, I don't know what that is, he initially understood the fear women express after being, excuse me, why am I sneezing? Seeing some online opinions, he found it divisive and offensive to men. I tried explaining the fear of violence driving women's answers, which he said he understood, but he was focused on framing. This felt like tone policing to me, but he insisted that no, it's just important that men and women work together to end patriarchy and male violence, but that it can't be done if women can't listen to men's feelings and be inclusive. Fuck men and their feelings, okay? Your feelings I don't give a fuck about your feelings when it comes to my life and my safety and my fear. That's what you were supposed to tell this motherfucker right then and right there. You don't get to dictate how I express my fear. That ain't your choice, motherfucker. That's mine. And I don't need to include you in nothing in your feelings and the decisions I make that make me feel safe and comfortable. Your feelings are irrelevant. Girl, you need to take you some damn cuss out lessons right quick because this boy is on some bullshit. While I agree patriarchy should be ended by everyone, I just feel it shouldn't be women's responsibility to call and hold their tongues when expressing the extent of their hurt and fear. That's right. He then showed me a video on the matter he thought had some good points, some really bad ones. It was about a guy with some pretty misogynistic undertones to some of his points. I'm not sure if that's my anxiety or if I'm generally picking up on the problem. Well, I'm picking up on the problem, so we sat down and talked about it once, and he told me it made him feel really hurt to be compared to the Redfield folks since he thinks they're awful and hateful and feels hurt that I don't have faith in him and trust in his morals and intelligence. I agreed that I didn't think he was that way and that maybe letting my anxiety get the best of me. He says he's made it this far without being indoctrinated, and he can definitely think for himself using his empathy and morals and man. What do you think? I want to sit down and discuss everything again, but what is the best way to discuss this further? This is not a discussion. This is you tell a statement. So that you go back and you say, look, you were trying to make it seem like a woman is supposed to consider your fucking feelings when she's talking about her fears and what she chooses to make herself feel safe. And I'm telling you right now, goddammit, your fucking feelings don't have shit to do with it. It ain't about you. Okay, so many women are unalive because they worry about men's fears and men's feelings and shit instead of focusing on their own fears and paying attention to it and getting the fuck away from these crazy fucks. But that's what you need to say to him. So this conversation is closed. We never gonna talk about this again. And if I hear anything in your mind where you're defending some kind of child pedo who seduces a child and trying to make it blame it on the child, if I hear you say anything like that again, we're done. So you're thinking, I don't know, you try to make it seem like you think for yourself, and if that's true, and these are really your thoughts, then we should be done right now. Because there's one thing I don't want is to be bothered with some bullshit like this. Some bullshit ass motherfucker that's gonna be trying to blame a young kid for what a man does to her, an adult male. You on some bullshit. Yeah. Well, a lot of people think, these young people, this Gen Z again, I'm telling you, they pick what they think based on clout and based on what's on the internet and what's popular. That's how they define themselves. That's how they decide what they're going to do, what they're going to wear, what they're going to say, what they're going to listen to, what they're going to eat. Everything is based on, what they see on the internet. Like that's real life. They wait for people to give them the answers. Teachers talk about this all the time, this new generation. They're afraid to be wrong. They always want to be right. They're timid and scary. So they look for other people to tell them what to do. Like even if you go on these forums like Reddit and stuff, they're always asking, has anyone else experienced this? Has anyone else dealt with this? What has anyone else resolved this? They're looking for everybody else's buy-in and their experiences instead of figuring out, doing it their own thing. It's just focusing on themselves. It drives me crazy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why she's seeing it, but she's not trusting herself. See, she's not trusting her judgment. So she's writing in to get validation. And I'm telling you, is what you feel is valid, and you need to get rid of this dude. That's what you need to do. You can't trust a man like this. When they start talking, making excuses for men violating children and say the child has culpability, that is somebody who is on that pedo train. And if you have young girls in your family, they are at risk with having this man in with that thinking around them. That is a huge no. That's all I'd have to hear is that, just that alone, and I'd be done with him. You ain't coming around the little girls in my family to do nothing. You're not gonna be looking at them funny. You're not gonna be trying to sit them in your lap. You're not gonna be making excuses for nothing. You're not gonna be trying to touch them. I will slice you open. That's what I will do. I don't know. One of these days, I'm gonna have to show you guys my new knife. Ooh, it's got a curve to it. You hold it like this, and then you go, oh, it's beautiful. It's a Japanese knife. It's handmade. I spent a grip for it. I sleep with it under my pillow. Really? I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't know what these girls be looking at with these dudes. I mean, they have like no boundaries. It's like the dudes say these really crazy off the wall things to them, and they just be like, oh, do I have the right to be upset about that? You should have been cussing his ass out or hitting him upside his head with something. I'm not going to talk about that right now. We'll have to do that another time. When it's a more private, smaller forum, I'll show you guys and I'll tell you. Question number 17. This is the male in the 42 to 49 age group. He's from Vista, California. Summer issue. Why is it so hard to find commitment when it comes to first dates? I am finding that I'm talking to many people and I keep getting very non-committal responses when I'm trying to plan a date. Some of these people are women who are in their 40s and 50s, where you would expect the maturity level to be a bit higher than teen. I constantly get answers like I'm busy and they don't offer another date to reschedule for. But then they keep texting me back and forth, having long conversations, saying how they are so sorry they had to reschedule and they are still interested in me. Okay, but why are you allowing that though? See, this is on you. If you ask them out and they said no, then it's the internet, it's a web dating site, an app. Just block them and go on with your life. What is all this? These text conversations are lasting an average of 2 weeks and sometimes even a month because of 2 or 3 reschedules or canceled dates. Why would you allow somebody to treat you like that? You get one time. Anybody who really wanted to meet you is going to make it happen. They might be running late, but they're going to be there. Yes, we're starting on the 20 something of June, a couple of weeks from now. So everybody submitting your DNN slides. I forgot. Let me just take a break right here and do this right now. I get this before I get distracted. Oh shit! Wait a minute. Where's my DNN slide? Here it is. This is our summer programming. But we do goofy stuff. It's goofy. It's just silliness. But it's a good time. So you email you do screenshots of crazy stuff you see online that people posted, weird comments and stuff. You do a screenshot and you email it to survivingdating@gmail.com and you make the subject line DNN or Dusty News. We've been doing this for years. It's our summer programming, and we take a break from the serious stuff and we just do goofy stuff, and we just get together and laugh and just talk shit and make fun of Dusties. And that's what we do every summer. Okay, we'll be starting on Friday, the 20 something of June. Let me look at this calendar. I don't know. Let me see. Oh, here's the calendar. Here it is. Oh, the 21st. So in about 3 weeks, about 3 weeks. Okay, so you got time to get your stuff together and send it in. I do have some left over from last year, so I'll start with that, and then we'll get into the DNN for 2024. Okay, so this guy's, these people don't want to meet up with him. But so then he asked, well, if they're so really busy, why are they even on the apps? That's a good question. They'll say that they can't go on a date because I'm taking care of my dog, I'm out of town for the weekend, any other excuse you can think of. Huh. And if they're not busy and just pretending, can't they just be honest and say they aren't interested? the guy is not going to freak out. He's just going to move on with his life. What benefit is it to keep a conversation with a guy that's going that you aren't interested in for weeks and months? It just wastes everyone's time. Maybe I just don't understand the dating culture, but this is how it is with most people. Have you found that these types of flaky people end up getting better over time, or that's just how they are? No, I mean, people present, they tell you who they are just from the get-go. But, you know, you asking the wrong person, because I don't do online dating. I haven't even seen what it looks like on the dating app. I intentionally kept myself ignorant, so I don't want no parts of it. And so I'm on that tip. I can't really answer you, but I can tell you about behavior. And what you have a lot of times in situations on these apps is people who have personality disorders, mental health issues, and other kinds of weird kind of behaviors where they don't really know how to connect with people. So by playing on these apps and texting and stuff, it gives them a semblance of having a normal human relationship, but they're truly incapable of doing that. That's why they're in their 40s and 50s on a dating app. Keep that in mind. Okay. There's something wrong with them, and that's why they're there. So I wouldn't put too much on it, but I'm going to tell you, just like I tell the women, you have to have boundaries. You have to have a certain level of respect that you command, and if people don't provide that, then you just get rid of them out your life. You don't let somebody cancel on you 2 or 3 times. Ain't no bitch that fantabulous that she should have that kind of power and influence in your life to do you like that. You're giving them too many options and too much power. So if they cancel the first time and say, okay, well, you know, it was nice chatting with you, I'm going to, you know, block you. You don't even have to say anything, just hang up and block them. So there was all these weeks and months you spend chatting with them and all stuff, it wouldn't be happening because you've blocked them and you've moved on. And you need to do that faster so you don't waste all this good time on people that you already know. I mean, they've already demonstrated that they're flaky and stupid. So, I mean, what are you doing? What are you thinking they're going to magically change? People don't change. They are who they are. Like I said, from out the gate, they are who they are. So I don't know what to tell you, my brother. Let's move on. We got question number, where am I? Oh, it's question 18. Young lady, 20 to 34. She's Black from Houston, Texas. Summit issue. My sister-in-law and mother-in-law tried to bully me into taking sister-in-law's daughter, so that's your husband's niece, to Disney World. The daughter is poorly behaved, or not even her mother wants to be with her. Oh, shit. So my 31-year-old fiance, oh, so she's not really your sister-in-law mother, it to be, okay. Fiance has 3 sisters. The one I will be talking about is, quote, Nancy, end quote, Nancy. Nancy has a 4-year-old daughter named Sally, who is extremely spoiled. Like, you tell this kid no, she would start bawling, crying, throwing herself to the floor, just having a full-on tantrum. Then when she gets what she wants, she goes back to normal and will get upset that you are upset at her for throwing a tantrum. I've been planning a mini vacation to Disney World with my kid sister, she's 12, and my nephew, who's 9, for months now. I have a well-paying career in the medical field, and I wanted to take them since they've never been. The rooms are booked with them sharing a room, but having their own separate room, but having their own separate room with me and my fiance in the adjoining room right next to them. Oh, that kind with the pass-through. Okay. We are scheduled to leave in a week. Today, my mother-in-law and Nancy sent me down to say how it isn't fair that Sally isn't going to Disney World with her aunt and cousin-in-law. How she should have missed out on the experience. I tell her, in order to avoid a fight, that maybe next time, as everything has been booked without a way to add anyone. I also add that my nephew and sister are still young, but at the age where I don't have to hold their hand to eat, use the bathroom, shower, etc. My mother-in-law then says, quote, family sacrifices for family, end quote. At that point, I see they've already made up their mind that they're going to try to force and guilt trip us into bringing Sally. So then I reply saying that if Sally is going to come, then fiance will have to book her tickets, stay with her in her room. The rooms I booked are the resort Disney character rooms, and be the one to take care of her. Mother-in-law immediately argued against it, saying that he doesn't know how to take care of young kids. That since I was joining the family, I should want to bring Sally. I told her it's a vacation. Why should I bring a child that's known for misbehaving, throwing tantrums, and breaking down when told no? Nancy started yelling at me that her child is well behaved, that they can't afford to take her, so it's our responsibility. I told mother-in-law and Nancy that the whole point of me and fiance being dinks, that's dual income, no kids, is that we can spend our time and money however we want to or don't want to. After some more arguing, they left. When fiance got back from work, we talked about what his sister and mother-in-law said. He told me that he wouldn't even take Sally if they threatened to disown him. He said that she is too much for him to handle, and that Nancy even talks to him about how much she regrets having Sally. Wow. And that's on top of the price of tickets and the fact that it will be a week out of state and essentially across the country. I need advice on if that was the best way to handle it, and if there's any way we can make it up to Sally, but in a less extravagant way. Sally was not there for the discussion. I do feel bad for Sally, as it's very visible that nobody, adult or child, really wants to be around her due to her behavior. I don't want to take her because I want to enjoy my time and know for a fact it will not happen with Sally there. Then you don't take her. Say ain't no bitches ain't offering up no money. They just want you to spend your money and waste your time on a vacation and ruin the trip for your little sister and your nephew who are well behaved. And I think, you could add on there, like, this trip is a benefit. This trip is like a reward for children who are well behaved, who got good grades in school, who respond to their parents and do that kind of stuff. That's why I'm taking them, because I know that they'll behave themselves. I can trust them to behave themselves. Your little heathen, you need to teach your kids just how to act, and maybe somebody want to take her somewhere. But she ain't going nowhere with me. I'm not taking a little ass to the park. So I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you should have used birth control. You would have saved your money and you could have taken them to Disney World yourself. But as far as me, I'll never be taking them anywhere. It's not gonna happen. And so that's how you have to talk to them. See, you're letting you were good, and finally, I mean, you did say how she doesn't behave and all that kind of stuff. But I just want you to just plain say no. That's not gonna happen. I'm not taking her anywhere. She acts like a little asshole. And you, the mother, you a bigger one because you just think that somebody's supposed to look aside and be bothered with your kid for a whole week. No, it's not gonna happen. Yeah, the answer is just no. I mean, I would have just listened to her and said no. Well, this and that, the blah blah family's like, I don't care what family does. This family ain't taking that little bitch ass kid nowhere. My own mama don't even want to be around it. What makes you think I want to? And stuff like that. That's how I used to talk to my potential in-laws. Yeah, it was bad. That's the guy I was living with when I was in Texas. I just had no love for them folks. Yeah, the child is bad and spoiled. I don't know. I just don't be bothered. 4 years old is old enough to know how to act. 2-year-olds, they still trying to figure it out. 4-year-olds, they know how to act. Kids choosing it because it works. Yeah, that kind of kid that wants to throw a tantrum and lay all out like that, and she don't listen. You try to take her somewhere, you in the airport and stuff, she want to run off. That kid may never be seen again. There's too many freaks in this world. That's the kid you'd have to put a leash on. And people think like, oh, you have your child on a leash like a dog. Damn Skippy. Sure do. Question number 19. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from the UK. Some of the issue. My boyfriend does not respect the job I do, and he isn't afraid to voice it in a harsh way. Is it my fault if I feel it on a personal level? What should I do? I'm a classical musician and play in an opera orchestra. I often play on television, and these days was one of those times. It was aired on TV because the kind of celebration of my country's culture. Most people who cherish the culture watch it. I respect my boyfriend not being into classical music because I know it's not something that he knows much about or enjoys, but he does know about history and culture, though. I went ahead to watch it today, and he came in to me and said, I tried to watch it, but it was so terrible, I stopped 3 minutes in. Wow. I asked how come, and he said the singers were singing horribly and the whole thing was ridiculous. Wow. It's about your country's culture and your orchestra playing. From someone who is a professional, it wasn't horrible, nor was it ridiculous. The singers were amazing, particularly 3 of them out of the 5 which performed, and our culture was very nicely celebrated throughout the whole show. I even kept getting goosebumps while watching. I immediately found it disrespectful, and I'm wondering if it's valid to feel such a way. See, why do they need somebody else to tell them that what they feel is valid? This is seriously bothering me, you guys. This keeps happening, and this is bothering me. It's a whole generation of young women with this mentality, and I'm trying to figure out where the hell it comes from, where they need somebody outside of themselves to tell them what they feel is valid. Where does this even come from? I guess we'll have a conversation on that another day. I am very much into art and culture, and so are my grandparents and my dad. I understand not watching or not being into something, but I don't understand why saying such a thing. I don't understand saying such a thing when it's first of all not true, and second of all extremely insulting. We live together and have been together for 2 years, so he knows how much these careers take work outside of the actual working hours, which are also paid very little in my country and not appreciated by the vast majority of the population, by the way. I felt his words on a personal level. I didn't say anything, but I'm not sure if it is my fault to think this way, or if I should say something next time. You should cuss his ass out. Man, I need to give a class to women on how to cuss men out because these dudes just getting away scot free with all kind of stuff. As soon as he came in there saying, I tried to watch it, but it was so terrible, and I stopped 3 minutes in. You trifling two-bit piece of shit motherfucker. Don't you ever say anything like that to me about my country, culture, language, and music ever the fuck again, or this relationship is over. I don't know what the hell you trying to do here. And it's talking about they were singing horribly and it was ridiculous. See, I wouldn't have been able to hold back. It's like, no, what's ridiculous is your entitled, fucked up thinking. That's what's ridiculous. What's ridiculous is why did I ever think that you were somebody that I should be in love with? You ain't shit. You want to sit here and ridicule my culture right in my face, and you think that that's acceptable conversation? You get on your knees and fucking apologize right now, or this shit is over. I would move out today, and I would start throwing my shit in a suitcase and getting the fuck away from him. This is someone who does not respect you. Now, see, y'all be getting with these people, with these crazy European white boys, and use these different cultures, Asians and whatnot, and then they rag on your culture like this, and you don't say shit back to them. You're supposed to cuss his motherfucking ass out. Like, you don't do everything about Europeans you stole from somebody else. All of the pasta, the Italians, they stole it from the Chinese. They come over here and they cultural appropriation right and fucking left about everything. And then they want to say, well, and then from up there and try to judge somebody else's culture. I'm watching this show. Oh, it's really good too, on Netflix called Warrior, about the Chinese coming to San Francisco and how the Irish be hating on them and abusing them and stuff. And they're talking about this is our country, we're Americans. I'm like, no, motherfucker, with your funny accent. Your ass just got off the boat a year or so before they did. You're an immigrant too. And then here's all the Native Americans looking at all and saying, well, all you motherfuckers don't belong here. What the hell is this? But they're beating these people up and they're like torturing them and doing all kind of horrible things to them because they're jealous of them working there and talking about that this is our country. No, your country is Ireland. You fucked up and confused. It's not yours. All y'all on somebody else's stolen land. It's just the most interesting thing. I watched that show and I was just livid. So it's the kind of thing where this, is an attitude that unfortunately, a lot of white people have. They think that what they have is the best, what they know is the most, what they have is stellar and superior to everybody else, and that other people's culture, this rich history of like hundreds of years of culture and knowledge and stuff is nothing compared to what they do, which was living in a cave a couple of years ago. So you know what I mean? It's like, come the fuck on now. You ladies of these other countries. I mean, I'm not saying interracial relationships are not okay, but if you see that you're with someone who puts your culture down, who denigrates it, who talks about you, who says it's ridiculous, repulsive, stupid, this kind of stuff, you cut that motherfucker loose. That person is just using you for some kind of sexual novelty experience or something. He doesn't love you. When you love someone, you respect everything there is about them. This shit is pissing me the fuck off. Yeah, but it's like, this is just not right. So this is why I haven't been in an interracial relationship since college, because I have that great fear they would say something, because I'm not the person I was when I was 18, 19 years old. Now I will cut your bitch ass out, cut your mama out, cut your daddy out, your whole family will get cussed out. And then if you get in my face, then I'll cut you. See, I would have never done that when I was younger. The person that I'm now is a savage. I'm not taking no shit from nobody. Yeah, sometimes it is. And then when you think that's what it is because of the way that these girls are, the conversations that they're sharing that these men are having with them. This is so fucking wrong. No woman should take this kind of stuff, especially when you're in an intercultural, interracial relationship. They need to try to understand and appreciate the difference, not put it fucking down. And that's what I keep finding that white guys do. They put the shit down instead of ask you questions and try to figure out what it is and learn something and educate the fucking dumbasses about it. They just put it down. That shit gets on my goddamn nerves. Yeah, so girl, get rid of this fool. Get rid of him. One thing you don't want to do is bring him around your family and have him start making those comments kind of like that, because the men in your family going to whoop his ass. So, just get rid of him now. Keep everybody out of jail. Question number 20. This is a male in the 22 to 27 age group. He's European from Ottawa, Canada. Summary of issue. What is it with women insisting on dinner as the first date? I first suggested for meeting up for ice cream as our first date, but she messaged me a day later on a swipey thing that she preferred dinner, mentioning that she wears lipstick and that it would be a disaster. She said that ice cream melts and it can be dessert instead. I learned that she doesn't like coffee and she's not a drinker from her profile. So what do you think of this? She says she loves sushi, but that can easily go to $100 for a nice place. How do you suggest us guys handle these kind of requests and demands? Well, you can be like Chris Rock and say, well, sushi's on the fucking side of the menu. And see what she says. And, it's like, we're going to do that first before you get to sushi, just in case you try to pull a fast one. So, yeah, y'all buy you sushi, but we fucking. And see what she says. Now, if I were a dude, yeah, would I be that crude? Absolutely. Because I don't know these bitches, and I don't owe them shit. Especially not to be dipping in my wallet to the tune of $100 for a first date. And she talking about what she prefers. I said, well, I prefer that I keep my money in my wallet. So how about we just skip this? Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, ice, whatever. Sandwich, coffee, drink, same shit. $5, $6. You just meeting a person. It's not a romance. You don't need to be going all knee deep and spending a whole bunch of money. Especially on these swampy things, they have different, I can't remember what I was going to say, but the bottom line is, these are this kind of girls that's on them sites where they be talking about, the dinner date reflects their value. And if a man can't reflect their value by taking them on a date, then, there's something. If they associate how much money some stranger spends on them with their value. And I keep telling them, you stupid if you believe that you listen to these dumbass chicks on these websites telling you that shit. Your value comes from in here. You decide what your value is, not some third party based on how much they spend on you. I mean, if dudes around here are millionaires, so if they $100 ain't shit to them. Does that change anything in your life? Is your life improved? Do you look better? You got more money in your bank account? Are your bills paid because he took you out for dinner? That is your value is intrinsic. It's in you. Everywhere you go, no matter what you're eating, drinking, wearing, people you're around, you should have the same value of yourself to hold yourself in the same regard, no matter where you are, no matter who you're with. Your value, it should never be reflected in your mind based on what someone else spends on you. That's a whole mentality. Okay? That's not the ticket. That ain't the lick. Your purpose for being on a date is to figure out if this dude has any fucking sense. Is he anybody that you even want to see for 2 hours on a dinner date? That's why I like to do coffee dates, tea, whatever you want to call it. I'll be in and out in 30, 40 minutes. I'm not wasting all my time on somebody I might decide is stupid in 10 minutes. And then I got to sit there and worry about eating and all that kind of shit. Oh, hell no. We'll do that on the next date if we decide that we like each other. I'm not committing to that on the first date. And as a dude, any woman trying to coerce me into a dinner, that I would just straight tell it, well, you must be planning on fucking in. Because you trying to spend all my money, and I only spend like that for people I'm fucking. So what we doing? Would I say that? Absolutely. You think I wouldn't? I told you I think I was a dude in my former life. I would not be taking this stuff from these chicks. Talking about what she prefer. I don't gonna give a fuck what you prefer. You're gonna prefer to stay at your house by yourself eating them cheese and crackers. That's what you're gonna do. Question number 21. Female, 42 to 49. She's black from Durham, North Carolina. The male is also in the same age group. Summary issue. Why does my husband flip out? So she put TF, flip the fuck out when I refuse to hand his kids a dinner plate. I moved to the South so that my husband can be closer to his family and the cost of living is less. I work from home and he works full time as well. Occasionally, his older kids from his first marriage, they're 15 to 21, will come over and stay. When I cook, I let them know the food is ready and to come and eat. I let them fix their own plates and decide what and how much they want. My husband said I should be fixing their plate and bring it to them. I said, oh, no. I don't mind fixing the plate, but I'm not going to serve dinner to their room or living room. They can get up and come get their own food. Besides, we have a no eating in the bedroom rule anyway. He said, well, they're kids. That's how they are. That's how it's done in the South. My response was, they are not little kids or guests, and they are old enough to fix their plate or come and get their food. I would fix and bring his plate, though, because he works and pays the bill. But you work too. Does he fix your plate sometimes as well? I have an older son in his early 20s, and since he was a teen, I stopped fixing his plate and let him decide what and how much he wanted to eat. He didn't talk to me the rest of the day. The issue is kind of fixed now, though, as we discussed, and I agreed that I have no problem making dinner plates, but I'm not a waitress. But I've been wondering if I'm right or wrong. What is your perspective, Dan? I ain't fixing shit. I might, on a grand, wonderful evening, fix my husband's plate, but then he used to fix mine too. Like we at his family's place, he'd get up and fix some plates. He'd come back with two plates, right? One for me, one for him. We at my family's place, I'm gonna come back with two plates, one for me, one for him. Once we had a baby, I would come back with a plate for me and the baby. Then he would get up and go get his food, right? Or I'd fix the plate for the baby and get her situated, and then he'd go and get our food while I'm, futzing around with her. So we didn't really have that problem about, man. And it's like only black men be having this fix my plate shit going on. What the hell is that? And get like in a snit if nobody fixed them a plate like they too. I tell you what, if I had some kids in my house and they didn't fix the plate, they would starve to death. Because I'm not fixing shit. I cooked. That's all I'm doing. I'm fixing my own plate and I'm going to sit down. You make the magic happen. So, you compromise, say, well, you will fix it, but you're not going to bring it to the room. I wouldn't even do that. They know how much they want to eat and what they want to eat. I mean, they might want to eat everything that you cook that day. This is just crazy. Question number 22. Female 22 to 27 from Orlando, Florida. Summary of issue, dating a guy with kinks. Oh. I've been on a few dates with a new guy. He said a few things that have given me some doubts. And I want to see what other people think. See, here we go. He mentioned struggle snuggles, something I'd never heard of. He was talking it up, saying how much fun it was. When I got home, I looked it up on Google, and it's basically our play. So pretend our situation. I'm totally not comfortable with that idea. I mean, at all. Should I end things now? Oh, hell yeah. I mean, thank you I've never heard of that either. What should I say to him about it? Well, you don't need to say anything to him. Just, just basically tell him that, he's a freak and you ain't about that life. But see, this is what immediately crossed my mind. By saying it was our play, if you decided to be alone with him and he'd already prepped you with this our play scenario, and he proceeded to do that to you, which would basically be date R, then he would say it was this struggle snuggle thing that he talked about. So that's a setup. You see what I mean? That's a setup. That's a straight setup for him to get away with date R-ing you under the guise of playing this little kink game. Get rid of this fool. What the fuck is wrong with these men today? What is it? There's so much weirdness. I tell you, there was this kind of stuff was not when I was there at this age. We didn't have men with these weirdo thoughts. I think it's the proliferation of online popcorn, all the stuff that came online in the 90s. So before you used to go to the store, you only get like Playboy or Penthouse or something. I mean, I guess they had something more hardcore, but I didn't know about it. But but now, I mean, it's on websites. Like these dudes be like addicted to this weird stuff, and I think that's what's at the core of it. People's mentality about this stuff has changed so much. It's scary, but I think that's what this is. This is just a test so he can do it and then say that that's what it was because he already talked to you about it and he thought you were down with it. That's what this is. Yeah, but I mean, that's what I don't know why you women be on these dating apps and you think it's about love and romance. It ain't about that. It's about fucking. I don't know why y'all be standing there thinking you go find some grand romance on the dating app. Those men aren't interested in you like that. It's all about some booty. That's all they're there for. And if you thought of it like that, you would be a lot less emotionally attached to these clowns and you wouldn't be getting yourself hurt. It ain't about you. It's about what you're going to do for them in the sheets. That's it. That's all. No matter if they try to, pace it out and make it sound like it's something different, it's the bottom line. That's all it is. Question number 23. This is a female, 22 to 27. She's Caucasian from Santa Barbara, California. The male is 28 to 34. So she's 22, 27, he's 20. Okay. Same issue. I feel stupid about helping my boyfriend. Why do I feel that I make irrational decisions so quickly? Because you say you feel stupid. You're probably right. Because you say you help your boyfriend. I done told y'all you never help a man. You never help a man. How many times do I have to say this? I don't know. Shay's not here. She'd be doing the blocking. I'll delete the comments later though. When I go through after I review the video, I'll delete it. Question number. Okay, so she feels stupid for. Okay, I'm planning to go to Vegas next weekend. So this is the first. So that'll be the 7th. Next weekend to marry my boyfriend. We were gonna elope, but I'm having second thoughts. Today he rear-ended someone in a car I got for him under my name and insurance less than a week ago. Silly me, right? Yep. I'm furious and I want to lash out at him and say how dumb I think he is. I only did all of this because he has a DUI, which totaled his previous car. It made me feel bad about him affording it. Therefore, I got a loan out in my name, financed the car, and put it on my insurance, which we were ultimately going to split. But I feel stupid. We have been together off and on many times. I would say he's outgrown and learned a lot from his mistakes. However, I sometimes can't help but feel he lacks common sense. Like his driving skills are so poor, I constantly nag him for the way he drives. I get so annoyed. But yet you went out and bought him a car. Last night I had a panic attack and I asked God to show me a sign that I shouldn't go to Vegas next weekend. I was thinking, let something happen to the car I just got from him. And sure enough, this morning he, quote, accidentally rear-ended someone. He didn't get the other driver's name, phone number, or pictures, nothing. He gave the guy my insurance info and driver's license, though. I don't know what to do. I'm stressed about money, and this happens. I'm frustrated he doesn't have the capacity to think that maybe he should be extra cautious because this isn't under his name. I feel stupid, and I take responsibility for taking this risk, but geez, I'm just not sure if I want to do this. He left my house to go to his and told me how would I feel if I made this mistake and I got yelled at like this. But I'm pissed. I'm allowed to be angry at him, so he leaves avoiding the issue, making me question everything. If I tell him I don't want to move forward with this wedding, we're done for good, I think. Obviously, the car will tie us together for the time being, but he's very adamant on me marrying or not being with me at all. I'm so confused and anxious. I understand in marriage, this girl is so. Oof. I understand in marriage that you're supposed to forgive, but I have a hard time letting things go. You ain't married. You don't need to forgive shit. I might be the problem, but I don't feel wrong for being upset. I love him and he's supportive of me, but there are some things that he does that are just hard for me to accept. And I know that it's not his fault. Yes, it is. Stop making excuses for this. A grown ass man who's older than you. I feel so angry right now that he can be so reckless that if I marry this man, I have to accept him for his mistakes. I feel like sometimes I make rational decisions based off of my emotions too often when these can be real life issues easily handled by someone else. I feel guilty in a way for automatically jumping to cancel our elopement. I'm thinking I don't want to do this. Or is it the anxiety I'm actually getting married? I'm so anxious about everything. I really am burning out quickly. I need some advice quickly. Okay, you already said you asked God, which I don't believe in all that stuff, but you evidently do. You asked God for a sign and he gave you one like a day later, right? You said if something happens to this car, that's the sign. Okay, what happened? And so there's your sign. What the fuck? What did you waste all the time writing to me for? You asked God for help and God delivered, like bam, like right then and there. Just warn your dumb ass, don't do this. Because you see what's going to happen is if you marry this man, all your money and all your assets under the law becomes community property. It becomes half of his. Don't be stupid. Break up with this fool. Take his ass to court to pay for the damages and to finish paying for that car that you got for him. Take him off your insurance. Make him get his own. And then go on with your life. If he can't do all of that, then sell the car and then sue him for the difference. That's really what I would do. Just sell the car and sue him for the difference after it gets repaired and make him pay the difference. Take him to small claims court. That's how you've been covering for him so he hasn't had any repercussions for his stupid behavior. And what I'm really trying to understand is why in the world would you buy a car for a man who drives poorly to the point where you complain about his driving all the time and his license got snatched because he had a DUI? What the fuck were you thinking that you would go and get a car in your name and a loan for somebody with that kind of driving history? Are you out of your mind? Must be. So you keep saying you feel stupid. Yeah, that's about right, because you kind of are. I don't know what you was thinking, but I just told you how to fix it. You're gonna get the car fixed under your insurance. You're gonna have a co-payment. Make him pay that. Sell the car. Since the car's in your name, you don't need his permission. You're gonna sell the car. And then whatever money that you don't get, you go to small claims court, and then you're gonna sue him for that money. And then you're gonna be done with his ass. And you're not going to marry him. Okay? You're not gonna do that. That'll be the stupidest shit you could ever do. When somebody's done showed you that he's a complete idiot, an irresponsible fool, and then you want to marry it? Tie yourself to it and have babies with it? You tripping. Question number 24. This is a male 18 to 21. He's black from Tupelo, Mississippi. Summary of issue. I need help to convince my family that I need to get out of this town to grow and find opportunities. Hi, ladies. I'm ready to ask advice on how I can say and explain to my family that I need different environment to grow and find opportunities. I love my town, by the way. It's peaceful and a place where you could settle down. But me, myself, I want, okay, he's young. Me, myself, I want to explore and find opportunities while being a student. I want to help my parents because they are over 60. I have 2 older sisters working and they cover what we need, but I think I need to make money myself so there would be less of a burden on them. I really hope I could get some advice. Thank you. You don't need nobody's advice. What you gonna do? You're a student. You want to travel and see something? Go join the Navy. That's what you can do. Join the Navy. So when you get out of school, you're gonna know there, and that's when you're gonna get some job training. You're gonna be able to see the world. You're gonna be on the ship, and you're gonna be going all over the place. You can see all kinds of stuff. Meet all kinds of people. Do all kinds of things. It'll make you grow up. You got your mama and your daddy and your 2 older sisters taking care of you. You're the baby of the family. And, you want to do all these things, but, you don't need their permission. All you have to do is put out feelers and get a job in some other state. But, do you know how to do anything? Do you have any money to travel, to get there? Do you have any job skills? I mean, it's nice that you have all these lofty ambitions, but, if you don't have any skills to back them up, then you're going to stay your ass in Tupelo, Mississippi until you get some. And like I said, I think the most expeditious and most inexpensive and least impact financially on your family would be for you to join the armed forces. You can finish school and, there you get a grant or whatever they call it after you finish and get your little degrees and whatnot. You can probably learn a trade while you're in there so you can have a viable employment when you get out, and your parents and your sister won't have to pay for it, and you'll come back a young man. Okay? So you investigate that. Try the Navy. If you like water, you could be on the Coast Guard. I would suggest the Army. The Air Force, you got to fly planes. If you're interested in that stuff, I guess that'd be all right. But I think the Navy's probably a better pick for you. Yeah, these women, they feel bad for taking the guy to court. I would be celebrating, like doing the cabbage patch and all. Just out there gigging. Yeah, I got my money. I'm gonna attach your paycheck, so I'm gonna get mine first before you even get a dime of your paycheck. I'm gonna get my cut. And our final question of the night is a young lady in the 35 to 41 age group. She's black from the Atlanta metro area. Summary of issue. Am I wrong for wanting my teen to move out after he graduates high school? Should I feel bad about wanting my kid to move out? He is extremely lazy and disrespectful. I get teenage hormones, but calling me a slut and a bitch or a sot, what? And he still has teeth? God, I can't imagine the hell that would have rained down on my brother if he had said some shit like that to my mother. Because me and my other brothers, we would have jumped him anyway if he had gone. But that's on the oldest one. He was kind of rogue. I could imagine him doing some stupid shit like that. Okay, he doesn't like to help with chores, and when he is asked to pull his weight, he meets me with insults and disrespect, but yet you feed him. That motherfucker would starve. I'm a single mother that would still like to go on and get my master's, and he doesn't want to go to college or work really. His grades are never where they need to be. He doesn't turn in work when it's due because he'd rather be out with his friends or laying around on his phone. I feel like he just wants to smooch until he can't because that is the example he got from his dad and his uncle. Okay. Okay, so why did you choose that kind of man to have a child by? Okay. He doesn't save money despite my best efforts to teach him financial literacy, adding him as an authorized user to my account. Oh, well, that's stupid. Take his ass off. And opening up investment accounts for him. He got himself into a $700 a month car note last year. Again, grandparents on his dad's side did this without my permission. When he couldn't afford to pay, I was made out to be the bad guy for not helping. But I never agreed to help, and I never even got the courtesy of a phone call from them letting me know that they were getting my kid into. The car eventually got repossessed. Prior to this, I told my son I wasn't ready to buy him a car until he was 17, as driving is a privilege. I was willing to save and buy him a new Jetta, a baseline model, just so he wouldn't struggle with a clunker. But being so rash, he got himself into the expensive car and proved to me that he wasn't responsible enough to even drive. He didn't finish driver's ed and completely disregarded my efforts to get him his learner's permit. Take him off your bank accounts immediately. Immediately. What the fuck are you doing? And then you talk about he's gonna be a mooch. Well, yeah, you set him up to be one. No boy, no kid needs to be on their parents' bank account unless they're like a senior, and at the end of life and shit like that. You do it that way so that the kid can, the stuff's not frozen up, and that's what you call it. I can't think of what I'm trying to say right now. After you die, what do they call it? But anyway, so it's not frozen up in that, and you can, still have access to it and pay their bills, their mortgage, and that kind of stuff. Um, So then she says, I feel if I continue letting him live with me after he graduates, he will continue down this road despite all my efforts to teach him good habits. He is extremely defiant. His dad has so much negative influence on him. Whenever I've called his dad, the dad so he can intervene when this kid calls me a piece of shit, he hangs up on me. I once had to call the police to intervene because he pushed me. I became a mom at 16 and gave up. Wow. So much of my life. I don't have any family in this state. I've only stayed here. My kid is close to his grandparents, and I didn't want to be selfish and take him to a city where he would be alone. My plan is to rent my home, a home I bought so my child can inherit it when I die, when he graduates, and pursue my dream of living in New York City, as I'm a remote worker and eventually will enroll in a master's program. However, I do not want to continue being verbally abused by an 18-year-old. Am I wrong for this? I've lived a very hard life and feel that I owe it to myself to make this move. What do you all think? So you all get to sound to say expeditiously. I'm gonna say this: when you get ready to move out of state, sell the house, put half the money in a trust account for him that he can get when he turns 25 or something like that, 30 something, because he's stupid. Okay, and you take the rest of your money, your hard-earned money, and you use it to get you something when you go to New York, because this is gonna be expensive as hell. Where you say you are now? Somewhere in the South, right? Oh, it says Atlanta metro area. I remember now. Atlanta metro area. I mean, nothing compared to the New York City prices. So you're gonna need that money. Um, Let him go stay with his daddy, since or his grandparents or somebody that they think he's so great grand and wonderful. He gonna stay with them and stay right there. Don't even tell them where you move. Don't give them an address. Give them a PO box number if they want to write to you. Don't let them know where you are. Get you a new cell phone number. Put the address for the cell phone on the PO box on the bill so that they can't do a back trace and find you where your address is. And you're going to go on and do what you want to do with the rest of your life, okay? I see that you made a lot of mistakes here with this boy, but the main thing you're going to do is you're going to go to the bank on Monday and get his name off your account. You can get him a debit card or something, and every month you put like $100 on it or something like that until you decide to move. When he turns 18 and you move out, he give him $100. That's enough. If he wants more money, he can get a job. Right? Yeah, it's time for you to cut this loose and let all the people that want to spoil him and think that he should be so good, and then tell him the same thing I told the young man before. If he wants to make a change, he's welcome to sign up for the armed forces and learn some discipline and learn a job skill while he's in there. And then, he'll either make it or break it. But either way, it won't be your problem. Let it be his problem of his daddy and his grandparents, since they think they did such a grand job. He used to have to, but a lot of teens are that way. They think that they have this sense of entitlement to things, and they feel like the world owes them stuff. And to me, that's what I'm getting from this kid. He just feels entitled that he's just going to get money and get food and get a place to live and all that stuff without having to put forth any effort or energy to make it happen. That people are just going to take care of him the rest of his life. That he deserves to have what kind of car note is $700? What did he get? I'm trying to think what he could get, what he got. It'd be something that costs way more than what I got for my Honda, and I got a top of the line Honda, and that shit, that bitch is, whew. And I got a rate from my credit union, and it's still like almost $600. So I'm trying to think, what did he get that was $700 in Tupelo, Mississippi, where cars are cheaper? They're cheaper than in California. I'm sorry, he wasn't too. There, he's in Greater Atlanta area. I'm sorry, I keep getting mixed up with the other dude. But $700 car note for your first car. This is like my 15th car. I don't know. I just can't see what it is he feels so entitled to, and he hasn't done shit. He don't even go to school to get good grades. At least do that. He don't even do that. But yet he feels entitled to all of these benefits like a kid who does do the right thing. That's what I'm saying. So I would just be like, wash my hands of him and tell him, well, since you know everything, you just go out there and make the magic happen. Boop. And I'd be on my way to New York. Better yet, come to California. But if you want your dream is New York, girl, you do that. I personally would not want to be anywhere near New York. It's filthy, and they got all them like migrant people that are there now. The crime is off the charts. I'm really not sure that's the spot to be trying to go to right now. Please rethink that. Do a little research on what's going on in New York City. I think you should change your location. I think you should come to California or go to like Denver or something like that. Do something. Don't do that. Even go to Houston or Dallas or something. You know. Yeah, not to mention, the rats walking around looking like cockapoos and shit. No, I have a friend that lives there. She be sending me pictures and stuff, and I just be like, it's terrible. And the crime, the R-ing of the women. It's just these people. It's just, and they dumping all them migrants there. So it's a real problem. The streets are filthy. She said they just urinate, defecate everywhere. It's just ridiculous. The health. I don't think anyway. The more I'm talking about it, reflecting all the stuff that she's been telling me, the less attractive New York City sounds as a destination. So please do some research and rethink that where you're gonna go, and then make a decision that's based on actual current knowledge. Because New York City right now ain't really the lick. I don't recommend. Do not recommend. So anyway, that's it for today's show. So I had to keep changing it. It's just like, that's why we call it What the Fuck Whenever. I said I still got my What the Fuck. I need to make a new one that says What the Fuck Whenever, because I just can't get it together. Just stuff just keeps popping up. And so I have to keep changing it because I'm not getting home in time. So anyway, I'll try to do better as we move forward. But then we do start the 21st with Dusty News Network. We do those on Friday nights. So be prepared for the laughs and send in your stuff, like I said, to survivingdating@gmail.com and make the subject line DNN. If you want to have an idea of what kind of stuff we do, take a look at some of the prior year's videos, Dusty News Network videos. There's a playlist for them. And so you can just go and kind of take a quick look at the kind of stuff that we do portray. No videos. No videos. Don't send me nothing from TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook as a video. I can't run it. Too many copyright infringement issues. I'm not going to do it. You're just wasting your email. It's just going to get deleted if it's a video. So don't do it. Only images. Okay, that's it. So other than that, you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I will see you one day next week eventually. I don't know which day, but one of them.